Her community activities include United Way volunteer and tutoring at the middle school. After graduation, Catherine wants to study environmental science in a 4-year program. The McDonald's KTC Broadcasting OneStopShopper.com Scholar Athlete Award is to recognize a student athlete not only for accomplishments in athletics, but also for overall achievements in the classroom and for overall school and community citizenship.
Hey, look, it's Gary Dellinger with Dellinger Electric. Gary, what's going on?
Hey, Calvin, just stopped by to see how the new jingle was coming along.
Well, as a matter of fact, we just finished it up. Want to hear it?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here we go.
When it comes to your wiring, you don't want to monkey around. Call Dellinger Electric. They're the best electricians in town.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't even give her phone number. And monkey around?
704-435-0705. They're the best electricians in town.
I don't have to pay for that. Do I?
Make sure your car or truck is ready for this year's cold winter weather with a checkup at Bruner's Automotive in Cherryville. Come in now for a free battery, wiper, or tire checkup. And now Bruner's Automotive sells tires. Check with them before you buy. And now you can get an oil change with up to 6 quarts of synthetic oil and a Wix filter for $42. That's Bruner's Automotive, 319 East Main Street in Cherryville. Call 704-923-7612 and visit the website at BrunerAutomotive.com. Get ready for the big game with a stop in at Mitchum's Kitchen in Vale. It's time to order your hot wings. And now at Mitchum's Kitchen in Vale, get more meat with the buffalo-style chicken legs. Great for any game. Just call 704-276-1155. And don't forget about their barbecue. Order enough for your big game day party. It's a Super Bowl of great food at Mitchum's Kitchen, Highway 27 West at 274 intersection in Vale. Online at MitchumsKitchen.com. See their page at WhatsAppShopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
It's time to come out and play at the newly renovated Lincoln Country Club. Since 1946, the Lincoln Country Club has been challenging golfers. Ask about special membership opportunities, enjoy the new swimming pool, and the restaurant just can't be beat. Practice your drive and know the driving range too. For your tee time, call 704-735-1382 for the Lincoln Country Club. 2052 Country Club Road in Lincoln and online at lincolncountryclub.net.
With warmer weather coming soon, get a great rate on recreational vehicles such as motorcycles, campers, boats, RVs, tractors, and more. Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville is offering a special rate on recreation vehicles as low as 2.75% APR. Apply online at carolinafcu.org or by phone or in person. Rates based on credit history. Let Carolina Federal Credit Union treat you like family. Located at 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville.
chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Another Saturday with Kevin, Zach, Tom, and Terry. But it looks like this morning our Wolfman of the Wolf Pack is not here. He instead is replaced by a guy from the Charlotte Hornets.
He's here.
and he's a black
A
man.
guy from the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
JP, you show sometimes
What?
that you have no idea so much. It even says his name right in front of you if you look a little bit harder.
It's Muggsy Bogues.
All I see is Charlotte 1. That tells me nothing.
What does it say right there, right above Terry's name?
Oh, now I see it.
Okay. Detective JP's on the case. I want to remind our listeners that Shelby Heating and Air is bringing you Saturday morning sports talk. Call our friends at Shelby Heating and Air, 704-487-7877. If you need a system upgrade, if you need a tune-up for your air conditioner or your heating system, give Shelby Heating and Air a call. Kevin's got the website up. They've got coupons and deals, I believe, through the end of March, Kevin, the dates on those coupons. So check out their website for their deals. Give them a call. Once again, 704-487-7877. Thank you, Shelby Heating and Air, for helping make Saturday morning sports talk possible.
Well, good morning, everybody. And I guess everyone's going to turn my ears up. JP, what are you having for breakfast?
Considering Terry isn't here, nothing.
Zach, what are you having for breakfast?
Oh, I'm going
JP, come here and please
light
fix
on my
Tom's
diet
computer,
today.
camera for us.
Well, this has put Kevin in a great mood. The fact that I was 2 minutes late and Terry's late with the sandwiches.
Well, you wasn't. You were. I needed you to be another minute or two late so I get you on your replacement on camera. Terry's replacement made it on camera. Muggsy Bogues. Matt Carpenter was going to replace Tom, but we got to fix Tom's camera because we had to zoom in on Matt. And JP's got to play with a dog for a minute before he does anything.
So in order to humiliate me for the one time I'm a couple minutes late.
It's because two of you weren't going to be here. You need a shot up. JP, is there anything else I can do for you? I need to make you breakfast.
I was on my way. I was like, it's okay if Zach and Terry are there. I'll be fine. And
that one goes up top. It goes back up top. Up top. That's way too close.
Yeah. Goes
Tom
up
moves.
there.
We got to get the wide angle on Tom.
There you go. I just had a bunch of garbage in the truck, and I had to get it out. I didn't want it sitting there for 2.5 hours in the show, so I wanted to get it out.
That's not bad. We can fix the lighting in just a minute. Good job, JP. Good morning, everybody. Zach and I was just talking to Tom about I don't know what we're going to talk about today besides Guardians baseball. Not going to play this year, and you might not ever see them have a pitch. NBA did start back up this week.
I was going through my closet, and I went through a phase. I quit going on Mercari. I don't know if you ever heard of that site, but I was going on Mercari and buying an Indians jersey like once a week. So now I have like 6 or 7 of them. What people do, Zach, is they go on free jersey night because you could tell it's like not like a real quality jersey, but it looks like a real jersey.
Right, it looks good
it looks good on the camera. So I bought. I mean, they were cheap. I bought like 6 or 7. So I'm going through my closet looking for my umpire crap. And there they are. I was like, man, I got all these Indians jerseys. I wonder if they're worth anything now. Now that they changed the name, I might put them back on there and see if I can make a profit.
Yeah, recoup a little bit of money.
Yeah, I know. But I've got a Ricky Vaughn jersey. I've got a Santana jersey. I've got Omar Vizquel. I've got about 5 or 6 of them in there. I was like, do I need to keep these or do I need to sell these?
Yeah, we was talking about, there ain't a whole lot that's going on with the strike being in baseball right now, and I guess you call it a strike.
Is it a lockout?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a lockout. That's what I thought. Yeah.
So I guess that's the only
lockout is where the other way. Yeah. We're not letting you come to work.
Yeah, that's the owner's side. So,
but it's contract negotiations. It's the same thing.
So got that going on. I was telling Kevin, Freddie Freeman's kind of in the limbo. Don't know where he's going to wind up. And for NBA, James Harden made his debut last night.
Cleveland has lost to the worst team, and they made the trade for LeVert, and now it's the only thing I'm worried about is have you messed up your chemistry? Yeah. And that's one of the things, man, is they were playing pretty well. Even when somebody went down, somebody else stepped up. I'm not saying bad or anything because I didn't get a chance to watch that one, but I had to work Thursday night. But I don't know. I have to read a little bit, see if the chemistry. That's one thing I worry. You bring another star in, what's the chemistry situation?
Yeah. Well, that was the biggest thing that I thought was the issue of Brooklyn was Harden and Kyrie are so ball dominant, and we've seen the show before in Oklahoma City, and I went back and looked at that series last night, and Westbrook did take more shots than Durant in that series, that's one of the reasons he wanted out of there, because he didn't want to play with the point guard. It's going to take more shots.
You're talking about the Heat.
When they lost to LeBron in the Heat, and one of the reasons they had problems is Westbrook took more shots than Durant, and then when Harden came on the floor, he was firing because he came off the bench that year, so he was the sixth man. So you've got your best player out there running around looking for shots and not even getting shots, and it was, as a fan of, and thought at that point I thought, this could be the matchup we see the next 3 to 5 years in the finals, Thunder and Heat with these three. And then the Thunder blow it up, and they got rid of Harden instead of Westbrook. And I thought Westbrook was the issue, is the point guard. I was like, I wanted them to trade Westbrook for someone like Rondo, like get someone who's going to distribute the ball to Harden and Durant, and let them flourish. But instead, they kept Westbrook, and it was just bad matchups for Durant the whole time. So. Now, with Kyrie being a ball hog, I was worried about that. Then when they added him, good grief. So I didn't think that they had a chance, maybe, because everybody talk about the defense, but the ball thing is a big thing. Like, those three guys, none of them are used to just standing around and watching someone else dribble. So, but, Tom, the over-under on free throws last night, Harden and Embiid are the leading top free throw
I can't
getters.
stand to watch when Harden plays.
I know you've complained about watching Embiid as well. Again, Charlotte.
Can't stand it.
And so last night at halftime, I haven't looked at the total stats yet. We'll pull it up here in a little bit when we go to the NBA. But at halftime, I did see that they both had a grand total of 18 free throws at halftime between the two of them.
I think I'd just go. I think if I was at the game, I'd just go buy my popcorn and go hang out in the lobby or whatever. Maybe shop for some discount merchandise or something.
I told you what the over-under was.
Get you a Ben Simmons jersey.
Yeah, get me a Ben Simmons jersey or something.
The over-under on free throws was 23, and they shot 22. They didn't shoot before in the second half. Somebody get a memo?
They might have.
Vegas text somebody in the stripes. Hey, guys, getting awful close there to that over-under.
I just want to remind our listeners that Kevin thinks everything's fixed. So
I think there's a high probability.
In the age of communication, somebody would find out.
Oh, my God.
You can't do it secretly. Like back in the day, you could do it secretly. But now it's just there's just too much way. There's too many ways to trace the communication.
Yeah. Well, when Vegas goes bankrupt, I'll agree with you.
Well, I'll tell you, Vegas ain't going bankrupt. I mean, the casino in Cleveland County is making money, so we know they're not going bankrupt.
All right. So, all right, real quick, the breakfast is here, so finally the waitress got on her job. We'll go through some of the bracket still here in North Carolina. It's the third round, Tuesday and Thursday.
He's
was the first
here.
and second round, of course. That was weird, JP. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know if it's Tom or
Well, I
Zach
know nobody was prepared for it. I just decided to do it.
Right. That's gosh, Lee. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. So the biscuits are here. That's the important thing. So we can get paychecks. Muggsy Muggsy's off his job now. So poor Muggsy lost his job to Terry Reinhardt. Terry gets in here. Good job, Terry. All right, Terry, we're gonna pull up the some of the brackets here for everybody real quick because I wanted to go over these. Let's see. This is the 1A boys, and we've got. Let's see. Local teams. That's what I want to go through here. All right, real quick. All right, here we go. Got it straight. Cherryville. Lost in the first round of Swain County, at Swain County, 100-70.
Isn't that in the mountains?
Yeah, that's Bryson City.
Okay.
Swain County then lost to Thomasville, 69-66, and Thomasville, the 4 seed, hosts the 5 seed, South Stokes. On the other side of the bracket, the 1 seed Hayesville will host Carolina International. Not sure what that is. They don't have it up in the brackets yet, the Athletic Association, so I'll look to see who Bessemer plays today. I think they're at home maybe. I thought I saw the story last night on the internet, but they played the winner of URI and North Row N. North Row N was winning about halfway through that game, so I'm going to check on that and find that out.
Not in there yet?
No.
That's crazy.
Oh, gosh, Max. The official website, guys, of North Carolina sports, Max Preps, or all sports, the almighty sports, whatever.
Yeah, I remember that was just coming in at the end of when I was just about to leave soccer. And I know that was started, you had to get your scores in the max preps. I remember that. But I don't know what the deal is. That's a third round game, man.
Right. So that shouldn't be hard to have that in, I would guess. Let's see. Then we've got so Bessemer does play today. I think I saw the story, Tom, that they are playing at home. So I think North Rand did win, but I'll check on that for sure once we go through the brackets. Winston-Salem will be hosting Christ the King on the other side of the bracket. I don't think we had any other local teams in that in the 1A boys West. Let's go over to that's the 3. Let's go to the 2. In the 2A boys, we have a lot of teams in our area actually in the playoffs, so this might take a minute. RS Central will host. I guess that's not showing up right for you guys at home. There we go. Get to the west side of the brackets. For Zach and everybody over there. All right, now we're cooking for the folks online. All right, RS Central is hosting West Caldwell. West Caldwell wins 67-61 over East Gaston, and then beats Southwest Randolph 78-43, and then they'll travel to RS Central, who beat East Surrey 57-48. RS Central, the 1 seed, West Caldwell, the 9 on that side of the bracket. The other side of their bracket will be North Surrey hosting Salisbury. I don't see any local teams on that side. Shelby wins in the first round over Randleman, falls in the second to Forbush and Aubrey Holyfield's last game, 59-55. Forbush advances to face Robinson, the 6 seed, 14 at the 6. Robinson beat Burns 77-52. Hendersonville beat Lincoln 78-58. Then Robinson blew out Hendersonville 89-62. What a lot of people said was a big surprise. Lincoln Charter in the 2 seed will host Monroe, the 7 seed. Let's see. Lincoln Charter beat West Stokes and Walkertown, and now they are sitting there with a chance to make the Final Four there. Let's go over to the 3As now. Hickory gets defeated in the second round against North Iredale. North Iredale, the 16th
No surprise seed, there, wasn't it? Yeah,
will be at
surprise.
the 8th seed out of that side of the bracket. West Charlotte. Now then over in Ashbrook falls at North Lincoln. North Lincoln beats Freedom. Now North Lincoln at Ben Smith. Terry, did you have North Lincoln in the third round of the 3A basketball playoffs this year?
They're not bad, man. They are not bad.
Oh, that's a different conference now. Because
Mm-hmm.
you kept saying the other conference. Now they're split. I got you now.
Sure.
Okay, that's where
them and East Lincoln come out
I
the
knew
same
East
one.
Lincoln was pretty decent, but East got the higher seed, so I thought, and then East got beat the other night, but North making the night. I was wondering how surprising it was, and I was totally thinking the old conference there on that. So you got me corrected on that one. So they are not the South Fork 2A that kind of struggled.
But now West Caldwell's.
They've made it. Did you
that's
think
what I'm saying? No, no, I did not. But there they are.
All right. So North Lake is going to Ben L. Smith. I've seen them in person a few years back, and they're one of those teams that if tradition stays true, they've got some tall kids. Maybe they went up there to see Adrian Delph and Kings Mountain play them, Tom, and they just
where's that school? Did we go there?
In Salem.
That might have been us.
That was somebody. I don't know who it was. Was it you? Did Kings Mountain?
Seemed like it was. Yeah. Yep. That was it. We went up and watched them play. Yeah.
Kids.
Right.
Inca will be at Crest today. Crest beats Ashe County, and then South. I didn't mean to click on that.
And that's the game on WHS, is it, Kevin?
No, it is not on WHS today. We have Tar Heel basketball. Today.
Okay.
So the Crest beat Southern Guilford 71-56, and they'll host Inca today. Incas, who beat East Lincoln in a big battle, 73-69. And I think if I heard Coach Levine the other night say, Inca's coach played for him.
Huh.
I don't remember what school or when it was. But
so this is a Obi-Wan,
right,
Luke Skywalker moment.
So they were big looking for that. Now that game is at 3:00, folks. 3:00 if you're going to go to that. It's not. That's why there's a schedule conflict with us. It's because Carolina plays at 2 against NC State. and then so Crest plays at 3.
It surprised me to see that as a 3 o'clock game.
Inca travel. What's the travel to Inca time?
Not that bad. I know we went up there and played them in volleyball. It's up in the mountains. Right. Hour and a half, Terry?
Approximately.
Yeah.
On a bus?
It's a Saturday night.
Well, Tom.
6 o'clock game, though. I'd say a 6 o'clock game would be
It's
good.
an hour. It's probably an hour from Crest, so it's not really that far.
I'd say it shouldn't be
Hour-
too
hour
bad,
and
but
10 minutes
for
from
whatever
Crest.
they decided to play
Well, if it snows, Tom, they got to get back.
It's not going to snow tonight.
Well, I'm just saying.
Have you looked up the Inca weather report, Tom? Crest is hosting Inca today, 3 o'clock. Franklin will be at Central Cabarrus, the strong Central Cabarrus team. They've blown out everybody they've played so far, 105-54, and they beat Stuart Kramer 91-38 in the second round of the playoffs. Terry, I was on a team that took a hammer like that, and at Bessemer, we win our first round game by like they did, like 15. Well, no, we won like 25 points in the first round. The second round, we get beat by a state champion by like 40.
Yeah.
We got the bad end of that bracket matchup. And you end up, so Central Cabarrus hosting Franklin. I'm guessing Central Cabarrus rolls in that one too.
Yeah, they about beat them by 60.
Yeah.
Central Cabarrus is where I did my student teaching many moons ago.
Did you do any student coaching then?
I did not. At that time, I didn't really plan on getting into it, but somebody didn't tell me if you taught school in the 90s was when you got hired. You are coaching something. Now, today, I don't know. We've kind of gone snowflake on these new teachers, and we don't want to hurt their feelings and make them do anything. But back in the day, it's like, okay, Tom, 3 different preps, push a cart, and you're the head soccer and JV coach. Have fun. And, you did it. But it kind of made you who you were as a teacher. Now it's like, I guess the world's gone soft. We don't want to make people work too hard. That might be bad for them, Terry. We don't make them do anything. Don't drive a bus. Kid might yell at you and hurt your feelings.
Yeah, we got too many that retire and have to stay. They come back.
Right. They retire and come back because the new kids are on TikTok and they don't have a lesson plan, so they
I didn't think I was going to get that soapbox out of that question, but either way, Pisgah wins 63.
It's testimonial brought to you by the old teachers of North Carolina.
3-8 girls action. Pisgah wins 63-54 over Kings Mountain in the first round. Ashbrook has advanced to the third today, 6 o'clock at Carson. They beat Ford 76-61 for our Ford listeners, Terry. Ashbrook beat them 76-61 in the first round. Ashbrook then beat Franklin 65-42. East Lincoln girls, they have advanced so far. They're in the third round. They beat West Henderson, West Rowan 59-38, 58-56, and they will go to North Davidson today at 6 p.m.
I never liked that trip. I've been there once.
Davidson.
To where?
North Davidson.
I never.
Yeah,
liked
it's in
that
the middle
trip.
of nowhere, isn't
I've
it?
been
It
there.
is,
Yeah,
but we kind of got blown out when we went there in the playoffs.
Can we get cleared that up? What you just said?
What's that?
You said I never like going there.
That
but
trip. I've only been there
you said,
once.
I've never liked that trip, but I've only been there once.
That's right.
Well, after he got beat,
I do not need to go back.
After he
How's
got
that?
beat, Kevin, he dreamed. He had a dream about it. I had another
Ben L.
dream.
Smith girls play today as well. They host Inca, so Inca's got 2 teams still in. North Buncombe will host Parkwood there in the 3A girls. Over in the 2A girls, Randleman hosting Lincoln Charter to beat Burns in the first round. Shelby will be at East Rutherford. This has been the big matchup everybody's wanted to see this year. They're no longer in the same conference, Tom. East Rutherford gets a higher seed, and Shelby defending champions. This is supposed to be the marquee matchup, 6 o'clock.
That's weird.
At East Rutherford.
That's weird that East Rutherford's a higher seed than
But look
Shelby.
at that. They gave up 36 points and 40 points. If your defense is that good for East Rutherford, Shelby's pretty good.
Well, those Hollyfield girls, I think, are going to have a field day. And the pass kid, she's pretty good too. I've seen them play. I like Shelby in that matchup.
Shelby does have 3 starters going to play college basketball somewhere. Pass
I
is
like
going to Alabama or something like that. Or
I'm
she
not
got
sure.
offers
I'm not sure. I haven't seen that.
She got SEC offers. I think it might have been Arkansas.
Pretty good. She's pretty good. and watching the you don't get to watch them that much because usually it's 50 points in the second half,
right?
And the clock's running.
I mean, Shelby, I think it gave up 25 and 38.
Yeah, 71-25.
How about
59-38.
Final score of 15-12.
Newton Conover
Yeah,
is still alive, 64-32, and 68-59. They'll host North Surrey. So a lot of local girls teams in the 2A. Salisbury and Forest Hills is the other side of that bracket. I don't think we had any in the 1A left. So that's our high school roundup. Any other news and notes we might have today, we'll get back to you for anything that if anybody needs to. We'll give some more updates maybe later in the show if there's any times or changes or anything like that. Baseball will start next week here on KTC Broadcasting, Trevor Linerman Baseball. Right now, I do believe we've got Crest Baseball scheduled for Tuesday, but we'll see how that goes going forward. So depends on basketball. So we'll let you guys know on that. All right, JP, you ready for our first break? It's biscuit time from Mitchum's Kitchen. I've got a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, I think, in this bag. Terry, what you eating on today?
I got an omelet, city ham and cheese omelet.
Tommy?
I have a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, but I was being professional, waiting for the first break to eat it.
Terry walks in late with the food and just starts pounding away.
Don't worry, Terry. I was 2 minutes late and was totally chastised. One time I texted, I was like, I'm just going to be a couple, and I was demonized.
Mine was beyond my control.
Yes, demonized.
Terry was replaced by Muggsy Bogues.
Demonized.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes. KDCBroadcasting.com.
Here's some good news. It's 2 for 1. Two good companies have now become one great company. Hopper Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air have combined their businesses to become Shelby Heating and Air. David Hopper invites you to call on them for all of your heating and air conditioning needs, with name brands like Carrier and Goodman, plus complete service and repair. Shelby Heating and Air and Hopper Heating and Air, now one. Call 704-487-7877 today. Don't let bad plumbing drive you plumb crazy. Call the plumbing experts. That's Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City. Sure, they can clean your drain or even do a camera inspection for sewer line and replacement. But did you know they have water treatment systems and water heaters? From residential to commercial, they do it all. Give them a call at 828-245-7302, 828-245-7302. And they also have employment opportunities. Call Olmsted Plumbing at 828-245-7302 and like them on Facebook too.
The name has changed, but the great sales and service remain. McKinney Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC is now Gastonia Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Come in now for some great year-end savings, like 0% financing for 72 months on select vehicles and up to $3,000 cash allowance on several vehicles. Come visit the new Gastonia Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC, formerly McKinney Chevrolet. Same location at East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. Online at GastoniaChevroletBuickGMC.com.
Get ready for spring planting with a stop in at Hometown Hardware. Get that garden ready with a brand new Troy-Bilt tiller. Get them before they're gone. Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain has vegetable plants, early seed, seed starter kits, grass seed, fertilizer and lime, plus pre-emergent crabgrass preventer. Get your potatoes and onion sets too at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue in Kings Mountain, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. See Kyle with a smile.
There she is.
Cody? So you didn't get what I told you to?
Dad, I did my research.
Let's see what he can do. Not bad.
What do you think?
Not bad. Not bad.
So?
He likes it.
I knew he would.
Your Coyote dealer is West Sales, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 West intersection in Vail. Need metal roofing? Then you need to see Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing in Lincoln. At Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing, you buy direct, saving you money. Featuring premium paint systems, painted fasteners to match, and 1 to 2 day turnaround. 29 gauge material in stock with 22 colors to choose from. It's the largest selection of colors in North Carolina. Plus, they will custom cut to your length. Triad Corrugated Metal Roofing, 108 Industrial Park in Lincoln. Call 980-429-2278. Triad Corrugated Metals is now hiring Class A CDL drivers.
Cardinal Quick Stop in Lincoln is your local Citgo service station with the best gas prices around. Stop in and grab you some of the best crunchy chicken in town. $5 fish and shrimp specials, $14.99 family meal, and many more meal deals. Check out their lottery. It is a #1 stop store. Cardinal Quick Stop, 1830 North Aspen Street in Lincolnton, open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., Saturday and Sundays, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Call 704-240-9795.
And we're back on Saturday morning sports talk with the guys, all chowing down on some Mitchum's Kitchum's breakfast.
Check. Low, but I hear you. It was better, man.
I hear you.
Is there a problem?
Check. I don't know. I guess it's hitting. You hear me in there?
Yeah.
Mine and Zach's earphones must be a little out of whack right now. It's very, very entirely possible. And I don't know. Can you hear? Me and Zach's got ear problems. All right. Either way, I can pull one to the side. Welcome back. Saturday Morning Sports Talk brought to you by Shelby Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. 704-487-7877. I did, Terry, forget to give the Mitchum's Kitchen breakfast phone numbers and information. You got that?
Yeah, 704-276-1155. Call them. And Robin, Carol, all of them will take care of you, man. They're packed this morning. That's what I was going to say, man. When I went over there, I placed our order. I got there. The whole place is packed. They every seat is full with people waiting.
Tells you something, doesn't it?
It does.
Tells you something.
Good food.
JP, what'd you have again this morning?
Me?
No, JP.
Oh, I had myself a fried bologna with cheese and mayonnaise.
Was it thick?
Yes, it was thick and good. It gone now, though. It was long gone.
That's all he had to tell me was I brought I think it was milk you said, didn't you not, JP?
I brought a thing of chocolate milk.
Yeah,
I know
chocolate
JP
milk. He
seen
said,
the
I
movie.
was waiting.
I brought it this morning. Like, where my biscuit at?
JP reminds me. See if Zach. I think Zach will know the movie. I don't think JP's seen it. Have you seen? You've seen Road Trip, hadn't you?
Oh man, it's been a long time ago.
Is that with Marlon Lawrence and Raven Simone?
No.
No.
Oh my God.
That's College Road Trip. Sorry.
No. Just don't worry about it. Either way, there's a guy in there that he kind of remind me of a little bit in it. And anyway, I'll show Zach in a minute. He'll realize. But anyway, all right. Let's touch a little bit on the Major League Baseball situation. We talked a little bit last week about the universal designated hitter coming if they ever play again. They've canceled more spring games. Shortened labor deal shortened season if no labor deal by Monday, they say.
I'm telling you, Major League Baseball is hurting themselves. I mean, they've already been taken away as the number one pastime of all time. You know, I mean, because they continue to do this stuff.
Yep.
And I mean, that's how come the NFL is so big now.
They
have been passed.
They got passed in the 90s when they had the big strike, if you remember. And
yeah.
Then, the guys that put them back on the map aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and then here you are again, paying all this money to players, which some of them are not worth that type of money, but they're going to get what they can, and I understand every bit of that. But here you are going on strike again. Come on.
Well, I mean, I was talking to Kevin before we got back in here, and Freddie Freeman's kind of
lockout or strike. Lockout or strike.
It's a
lockout.
Either or, it's a lockout.
Yeah, that's a little bit different, Terry. That depends on who. That depends on who's
stopping the
issue.
workage. Yeah,
Right.
if it's the owners, it's a lockout. If it's the players, it's a strike. Same thing. They're worried about money, contract, working conditions.
It's all the same.
Yeah, I mean it's all the same. But either one side or the other's not happy. And I think with baseball, I think you guys are. You know, we usually argue on the show, but you're right. You're hurting yourself at this point.
Yeah.
You were the draw for so long, but you're not the draw as you used to be, and this is making it worse.
And then when the pandemic came along, you had some that would play, some, I'm laying out, I'm not going to play. I mean, you know, so they really never really knew what type of team they have. And then here we come up with this. I mean, this is just too quick.
All right, so here's some of the issues. The union wants to get there's like 10 issues I'm going to go through here. And I'm going to try to pull them up for you guys. I've got it on this computer, so deal with me reading for a minute. Arbitration and pre-arbitration pool. The union wants to get young players paid more. It has proposed two ways. First, by getting them to arbitration more quickly. Basically, one of the issues, and I kind of know probably what they're getting at here with this is, for example, Pujols and players. I think he was controlled for the first 7 years of his career, basically by the Cardinals, whether he wanted to do anything or not. And that's what you'll see near the end of the season. They'll wait to put the guys up and get them some playing time, but it won't count towards their Major League Baseball official rookie year playing time. So one of the things that I think they're arguing about, they want them to pay it earlier, and which I think is a good thing as well, but you've already seen some of the guys do it. Wasn't the Tatis, the guy from San Diego, got paid quick, and the Braves played out. Was it Albies or one of Acuna? They paid one of those guys really early, and it's looking like a good deal. And that's the reason, Zach, what you were about to bring up with Freddie Freeman a while ago, and that's one of the reasons Pujols left. Pujols was offered by the Cardinals after 11 years, a 10-year, $200 million deal. He left for a 10-year, $230 million deal. So, no, it was $300 and $330. So we were offering him $30 million a year. He took $33 million a year over the team that's already had you for 11 years. And his wife, her comment was, I remember being on one of the big things about it was the Cardinals' offer was insulting. $300 million for 10 years, a 31-year-old baseball player. You'll be the king of St. Louis. So what me and Zach was just talking about. Now he'll get a statue somewhere, but it could have been the biggest statue right next to Stan Musial.
He might have been. I would say Stan Musial.
Stan Musial's got the biggest statue out there.
He would have been on par with that.
There's room for Pujols. You have a right-handed, left-handed hitter standing right there beside each other, and now he'll be
He's
one
going
of
to
the medium size.
statue.
He'll be between Ozzie Smith and Lou Brock somewhere, but he could have been a monumental player there in St. Louis and been everything for the community. And instead, they commented that it was insulting a 10-year, $300 million offer compared to 10 years, $330, which is just $3 million more a year. So I think that was part of the issue is why he left, is that he thought they owed him that $30 million from the back end from the previous 10 years. So that's one of the biggest issues. With that, I don't think there's really too much to argue about. It's just with that as far as where that goes. Minimum salaries is next. Go ahead, Tom.
It's just hard to live off $300 million.
I mean,
right. And then you got to have 303. I mean, it's an insult. I mean, what's wrong with these people, Terry? And you wonder why fans have turned away. You know, I mean, that's why. And I'm not saying they don't have extraordinary talent that's hard to match, and that justifies those big. I'm not saying that. But when you start doing that, when you're offered $300 million and you're like, no, I want 320, you seem petty. I mean, for $20 million, you know, to us is, you know, a lot different than it is to them. If you've already got $300 million, I think you're going to be okay. And now you're just being petty of, you're insulting my great talent. I want this much more money. And I don't know. Maybe average working Joe, that I don't think that really appeals to him anymore.
Maybe his agent figured out that $33 million a year is.
That's the agent's that's his money. That's 10%.
Pretty much. You're right. But, but maybe, you know, the tax bracket, maybe it bumped him up or something.
No, once you
fell down. You know,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, they're gonna hit. That's why a lot of them don't want to play in California. They want to pay state income tax.
Texas or Florida.
It's one of the reasons why they Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay. Mm-hmm. No state income tax.
I asked Kevin. I said, "How'd that work out for him going to L.A.?"
Yeah, people think Mike Trout's better than him now. That's how it worked out. Great job. I think your name's Deidre. Good job, Deidre. An insult. Now, how are you feel insulted now? How insulted do you feel now that people decide there ain't no way that dude's better than him if all you had he's got 650 home runs. Come on. Yeah. Jeez.
Well,
minimum salaries is the next one. Baseball lags well behind other sports and minimum salaries. That's part of what I was talking about with that 7-year thing.
Because they're top heavy.
Right.
You know?
And they have a lot more players.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean what is there
right.
to figure out? It's not don't take a rocket scientist, man. There's just a lot more players.
In all yeah.
Last year was $570,000. NHL rookies make $750,000. And it doesn't say the other ones. The league raised its offer this week for minimums to start at $640 and increase by $10,000 each year. Players want to begin at $775. So the players want an extra $100,000 for rookies. Service time manipulation and tanking. According to the players, the cycle of rebuilding teams has gotten out of hand. It takes up to half the league out of the bidding for players every offseason, crushing the demand while the free agent supply is plentiful. So they're saying that the teams trying to tank don't want to sign these free agents because they're trying to tank. So it's costing the people money and veterans money.
So they can get the young, cheap players
Right.
who are almost as good.
Right. And what's even worse about it, Tom, and if you really delve into it, I've seen studies in a documentary. I think Tim Kirchin talked about this a long time ago. Was that the reason they like the foreign players is that they can control them better than the Americans, and they don't have to pay them as much. So you look at about like where's the Barry Bonds, where's the black athletes, the King Griffey Juniors. Well, they've exported those to the Dominican Republic. That's where they're getting everyone from, and that's what from the Caribbean, and so that's an issue in and of itself where that comes from. But you're right in that's what they're trying to do is younger players and people so I can control you 7-10 years. If you say you're 16, now I control you till you're 18 before I even have to give you a contract. Basically, you can do these. They do these minor league things in these camps. I don't know. There's a lot of that's what the players are talking about. The veterans. But then I think that's the middle grade veterans. Obviously, the top guys getting their $300 million contracts that we just talked about. Revenue sharing. What insiders say, the issue is one of the biggest sticking points in the negotiation. It affects big and small market teams, along with star players who want to keep as many bidders in the process as can. Let me read off this for you. Where are those guys? Here you go. Some mid-market teams like the St. Louis Cardinals wouldn't be thrilled with the big raise in the CBT, the collective bargaining agreement. It'd be hard for them to compete with richer teams, but at least their revenue sharing would be intact. This move would preserve the cash flow to smaller markets, but also enable teams that want to spend on a player not a tax to do so. Good starting point for the first threshold in 2022 would be ending figure from the league's last offer, $222 million. So basically, they want more collective bargaining among the owners do among these.
So they want more
teams.
or less revenue sharing the players.
Where was I? Let me go back to what the players say.
I mean, if you don't, from a fan's perspective, if you just let Boston, Boston, LA, and New York dominate this thing, it's boring. I mean,
yes.
I mean that's what football's figured out, that the Cincinnati Bengals can get to the Super Bowl. It seems like that can't happen in baseball anymore.
Well, the only time it ever happens in baseball is when Miami decides, hey, this year we're going to go for a World Series, and they get it. Yeah, and then the next year they get rid of everybody.
Fire sale.
Yeah.
What the NFL's done is, like you said, Tom, with the Cincinnatis, is they've allowed it to be more reliable on coaching and players and health than, hey, we bought this Super Bowl. That they I don't think the NFL wants teams to, and the Rams almost pretty much did, but it's not like the teams didn't cut them and give them their players anyway,
right? Yeah,
or trade them to them.
Yeah,
they didn't go sign all these. They didn't go sign Odell Beckham. They didn't go sign Von Miller.
Yeah,
they traded them or cut.
Yeah,
well, they signed Odell, but it wasn't what it cost them. Nothing. We paid for everything.
Yeah, so
that's what they don't want. And the baseball and the NBA have not figured out how to do that yet. And so I've always thought, Terry, you being a small market team as well, and the Braves and Cardinals for the most part have hovered to mid, above mid. So they've kept one or two stars and then a decent amount of people.
Got good farm leagues.
But the Kansas City has always been, for the most part, in the bottom on that, Terry. So you guys definitely need revenue sharing.
Oh, well, we do. But, I mean, if you go from when we won it, I'd like to know how many of them players are still on Kansas City. Maybe 2.
How long ago was that?
15.
7 years.
Yeah, like Cleveland's won a bunch of games because
that's ridiculous.
Because of their farm system. They've just been able to, but when it's time to pay Lindor, see you later. I mean, they can't.
Yeah, that's
you can't keep up without it. And people might say, I don't care, I'm a Yankees fan, but yeah, your sport only has appeal if it's competitive. That's the nature of sports, competition. And if one team, I don't know, like back in the old days where the Yankees dominated so much, I think it's just boring, Terry. I don't know. I mean, that's what makes football so exciting. When those playoffs start, you can't just say that team's going to the Super Bowl. 2 number 4 seeds made it to the Super Bowl. And it's not like it can't happen in baseball, but it's just more difficult. If you're not going to spread it around and try to make it more competitive, then it's not going to be as appealing as some of the other sports.
I guess that's when we've won it twice, and I don't know how long it'll be before we ever get back. But when you're locked in as a Kansas City man, I'm not like a Yankee man where I can watch you every year. Hey, buddy, we're going to win again. Yeah. I'm a Kansas City man. I'm not going to miss an inning, a pitch of every time they get in it. That's how much it means to me. But if you're a Yankee fan, we'll win that. No big deal. We'll just add another one to our chalk.
So just pay for it.
Yeah.
So just buy it. And I think what Kevin said, I think, the Rams got OBJ for a big discount. It's not like they went out and bought him. Not like, well, we got to give this guy, $20 million so we can win the Super Bowl.
And too, you talking about Bill, with the Rams and stuff, they've traded a lot of their draft picks. I mean, they've put into it. It ain't like they're just buying these players. I mean, they pay a lot of money for them, but they're having to give up some stuff. They didn't have to give up much Rodell, but.
I was listening to y'all last week on the way to work, but I understood y'all was talking about where Russell was went, and I think I sent you something, Tom, saying Philadelphia, they got 3 first-round picks. By the time they get to number 16, they got 3. And they could easily give away Hurts and a pick for Russell if they wanted to, or maybe 2 picks for Russell.
I know Tom don't want to see it, but I've seen Garoppolo and Russell Wilson are the top 2 candidates for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Russell Wilson goes to Pittsburgh.
No,
Garoppolo goes to Pittsburgh, I'm good with that. Yeah. I don't want to see Russell Wilson go to Pittsburgh.
He would actually fit pretty good there with his blue collar.
But at the same time, that's not what his wife wants. His wife's kind of cosmopolitan. Mm-hmm. She wants, like, I could see him in a Dallas, someplace like that, or Miami. Or before a Midwestern Rust Belt.
The good thing about Pittsburgh, though, how far of a flight is that for them to New York?
Yeah, but still,
you're 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
But you're not in New York. You're still in Pittsburgh, which is
not
exactly cosmopolitan.
Whoa, Tom. I didn't say she had to be in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I know.
She can live in New York, and Russell can helicopter from Pittsburgh.
I guess. I can't remember. There was a guy for the. I want to say for the Indians that did that for years, that he basically had his family still stayed in. He was from New York or something, but he played in Cleveland or something like that, or the other way around. He just helicoptered. I guess it's more feasible
was that
then.
Kenny Lofton?
I can't remember who it was.
That sounds like a Kenny Lofton story.
A long time ago. I can't remember who it was, but I guess that what I'm saying is that scenario, I guess, would be possible, but I don't see him there. Denver's not on the table for Russell Wilson.
All right. No,
I've never heard him mentioned.
I thought maybe, because they've been looking for a guy. Cleveland, I guess, not a possibility.
Y'all stuck with Mayfield.
Well, what do you do? You got to give Mayfield some picks. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
All right, Freddie Freeman. Ultimate free agent destination has been one of the more fascinating storylines of the offseason, says this story on MLBTradeRumors.com. We can't know when we'll get a resolution because of the lockout, but Joel Sherman of the New York Post reports there's an industry sense that Freeman will act quickly once the transaction freeze lifts. Let's see. I saw the Toronto Blue Jays were interested, as well as maybe the Yankees. The Yankees don't really have a fit, but they just want to pay for a big bat.
Why would Atlanta let him go? I think somebody's going to offer.
It's not about that. It's about, if Atlanta offers him, Pujols was an insult. $30 million.
I think they offered him
all it takes.
5 years, 130 or something like that, and he wants like a 6-year deal.
Oh, God. That's all they offered him?
It was like $27 million a year. I think is what they offered him. What's that?
What did Tatis get? That's what his agent's going to want, isn't he? That's what his agent's going to say.
He started off bad this year. He ended up good, but he started off bad this past year.
Yeah. They won the Super Bowl.
World Series, yeah.
On baseball.
The best offer so far, Zach, from the Braves has been 5-year, 135.
I thought that was about what it was.
How can a man survive on that?
2 years ago, he was the MVP.
Yeah, he's definitely the gold standard would be somewhere like $300 million deal for somebody who's an MVP. I would say.
Well, what's his age, Zach? Do you remember? I'm pulling him up. I didn't know if you know off the top of your head.
I don't. I'm going to say 32. Is he that old?
Born in 1989.
32. He is 32.
So, last year was his 31-year season. So that's pretty much, again, I think the Braves offer. Yeah. So Pujols at this point, exact same time for the most part, got 10 years, $330 from the Angels. And Freeman's best offer, and was from the Cardinals. Freeman's best offer from the Braves is 5 years, $135. So, Zach, I don't think y'all were trying to sign him at that. Or even 5 at 135?
You just won the World Series, man.
Right?
You got
He
to
was
keep
MVP
some
2 years
intact.
ago. But again, management's going to say, we got our World Series. We got 10 years out of him. Cut bait. We don't have to pay $130 million. That can go to one of these other young stars.
And they looked at it and said, can he play at a decent level till he's 37 is what they've done. 32 to 37 is what they've done. And they didn't want to give him that extra 1 year. What's 1 year? If you want to give him one more year, give him 6 years, 180 or something. I don't know.
I'm looking at his games at 150, 140, 140, 160, 118, 150, 117, 160, 60 in the Corona year, and 159. So it's not like he's missing
durable
a ton of games. I honestly, 5 years. If you're gonna give him 5, you got to give him almost $200 million. Just if that's the length you want, you know what I mean. You can't just sit there and say 5, 135 and expect him to say yes to that. I don't think. I think the Yankees would pay that, wouldn't they, Tom?
I would say so.
5 for 30 is 150. Pujols was insulted for that.
Yeah,
and that was 10 years ago.
They probably insulted him, and that's probably not a good thing for him.
Huh? I didn't know y'all had offered that low. I thought it was at like 70 or 200.
No, he offered 5. He wants at least 6. Is what I'm hearing. They said when the lockout ends that it'll be taken care of quickly. He'll either probably say no and sign with somebody else, or
if the lockout ends.
Yeah.
And they have canceled the World Series in '94. Remember that? Yep. And it's happened before.
Go ahead and do it again, guys.
That is not good.
Hurt yourself.
Yeah, that would really, really hurt them.
If they didn't have the home run thing, they would have struggled for years. If you remember how bad it was.
Yeah.
Says Dodgers, Rangers, and Yankees have interest, and the Oakland A's could be a trade.
Dodgers, Rangers, and Yankees. Dodgers and Yankees are in everybody's.
Yeah, because they just got endless money.
I mean, right? You're right. That's what makes it.
And they don't have a cap or anything.
But see, here's one final thing before we move on. It's one thing the agents do as well. All they have to do is they call Atlanta and be like, Yankees are offering 5 years, 70, 170. No, it's not that much more. But then that's when the Braves like, we just can't do it. There's just a small threshold. And yeah, maybe the Yankees overpay, but we still got a hitter and you don't. That's what they're doing. That's all they're doing. Them in Boston and the Dodgers have been doing for years. So, all right, JP, you ready? Which, let's see, pull up JP's camera. Which one of these symbols are you today? Are you Daredevil? I didn't think it would take.
We'll go with Flash.
You're the Flash. That's it. Now, to me, you're more like Flash from the Dukes of Hazzard. What do you think?
Yes. Roscoe P. Coltrane's faithful companion. Flash.
That's a fantastic nickname, JP. We'll be back in just a minute. KTC Broadcasting.
I forgot about that.
With the consolidation of Hopper's Heated and Air and Shelby Heated and Air, the company is growing by leaps and bounds. And now Shelby Heated and Air is hiring technicians. That's right, they are now hiring service technicians. Get great pay, great benefits, and paid technical training. You can apply online at shelbyheating.com or call their office at 704-487-7877. Your future is waiting for you at Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. It's a triple header of savings at Oak Grove Auto Sales, Service, and Body Shop. Up first, a 2004 Buick LeSabre Custom with only 90,000 miles, priced at $64.95. Up next, a big 2011 Chevrolet Suburban LTZ 1500 4x4 with towing package priced at $20,995. And finally, a big 2007 Dodge Ram 2500 SLT truck, one owner, $26,995. Oak Grove Auto Sales and Body Shop, 522 Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. Online at oakgroveauto.com. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Here comes Duke.
All the way to the hoop. He's bombed. Count it! Superman soaring in for the dunk. Put it up and in to give Duke the lead.
Follow along all season long as the Blue Devils push for a 6th national championship.
Good! He got it! The buzzer! And the Blue Devils win it!
Duke basketball can be heard here on the Blue Devils Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't let bad plumbing drive you plumb crazy. Call the plumbing experts. That's Olmsted Plumbing in Forest City. Sure, they can clean your drain or even do a camera inspection for sewer line and replacement. But did you know they have water treatment systems and water heaters? From residential to commercial, they do it all. Give them a call at 828-245-7302, 828-245-7302. And they also have employment opportunities. Call Olmsted Plumbing at 828-245-7302 and like them on Facebook too.
Now open, the all-new BMC Toner Solutions at 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. The new BMC Toner Solutions can save you up to 50% off retail on your printer ink cartridges. Extra large inkjets just $14.99 for black and $16.99 for color. Just call 704-862-7333. They're open from 9 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2 on Friday, and open every third Saturday from 9 to 2. The new BMC Toner Solutions, now open at 410 East Franklin Boulevard, Gastonia.
It's time to gear up for fishing season. Time to gear up for the great outdoors in Cherryville. They have everything you need along with advice from Bass Pro Fishing Champion Guy Aker. See the new shipment of Yeti products, also rain suits and sunglasses by Costa, Baggio, and Sundown, plus Marshwear outdoor clothing. And don't forget about their full-service boat department, doing all types of boat repair. And new boats by Camus and Sea Art. The Great Outdoors, Highway 150 East in Cherryville, right behind McDonald's. Online at teamgreatoutdoors.com, like them on Facebook, and see the page at whatsupshopper.com.
Hey, can I help you? Wow, this tractor looks tough. Oh, yeah. This is the Coyote RX 6010. It has a 59 horsepower Daedong turbo engine, 4-wheel drive, and one of the highest lift capacities in its class. It's a whole new level of toughness.
Wow, that is tough. I'll take it. Bobby, let's go wrestle a bear.
Experience the toughness of the RX series at your local Coyote dealer.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sells, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vail.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the guys. I don't think they know that we're actually back on the air right now. I streamed them last ad, but they kind of just...
Yep. We know we're wrong.
Oh, you do? Okay, well, I don't know.
Terry's telling untellable radio stories.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
See, we've got to have those between the scenes on the live on the YouTube. Talking about bad coaches like me.
That could be our new bad picks for the off season.
What?
Bad coaches.
Yeah, bad coaches things. Yeah. They did have a meeting the other day, but it wasn't about me. Some other couple of other coaches have gotten
That's a first. Yeah.
Some other coaches have gotten some emails about their behavior, and I'm like, not me. Not me.
Coaches got email about their behavior?
Well, not to the coaches, to the people in charge, but we did have a discussion about the rules, the 7 and 9-year-olds, because it's the middle ground. And my simple question was, I don't care what you call, I want to know what you're going to call. And that's just the most simplest thing I could ask. So we come to an agreement on that. And I thought one of the things, Terry, like I was trying to explain to him, was like, not calling stuff makes the good players unguardable and unstoppable. We can't have that. If we're going to have that tournament, it's going to be ridiculous. But we'll see where that goes. We got baseball starting up here in a couple weeks.
Well, that's
ready for that.
Not far.
Let's see. Tar Heel basketball tonight.
This afternoon.
This afternoon against NC State. We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. First, we're going to talk a little football today, NFL. these are some news and notes Tom and them guys were touching on. Maybe a big quarterback season, off season this year. So we'll see what this is. This article is previews for all 32 teams, free and snow, big questions, draft picks, and best or worst case scenarios / for teams. It says all that, but it's really not all that. So anyway, some news and notes for some of our local teams here, or some of our teams that were of interest. For the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold is the only quarterback under contract. He has an $18 million salary cap hit, so he's almost impossible to trade. He also isn't the answer after going 4-7 with 9 touchdowns and 13 picks as a starter. Protecting him was an issue with 35 sacks. Upgrading the line is the priority regardless of who's under center. Carolina's options, however, aren't great. The Browns have to decide how much Baker Mayfield's left shoulder injury hampered his performance, and in turn, whether they believe he can bounce back after undergoing off-season surgery. Just a season ago, he did quarterback the Browns to their first playoff victory in 26 years and finished 10th in QBR. Cowboys, it might be too early to say this is it for Mike McCarthy, but it is certainly shaping up that way. Sean Payton's shadow will linger, and Jerry Jones will have his way to keep defensive coordinator Dan Quinn with a contract extension and future raise. While it was obvious progress in his second season, McCarthy will have to do better than winning the NFC East in 2022.
I agree.
The NFC least.
So went through those y'all 3 teams. Comments, concerns, guys, for you fellas. I'm just going to read through and see if anything else.
I know there's more, but the Browns have to decide. David Njoku got to extend Denzel Ward. Got the Jarvis Landry, who seems to want out now, even though he's a fan favorite. Every team's got some issues. $16 million for Jarvis Landry. That's probably a little too much, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they can rework his contract. I don't know. You know, he's not Barry's guy. You know, that's the one thing. It's like Mayfield. That's why there's always a question about him. Are you the GM's guy or not? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, they definitely have some, you know, Clowney's another one. Now that I see that, that's another one. Anthony Walker, I think he was pretty good, but either way, if he walks or goes, that won't be too big. Well, Rashard Higgins didn't have a good year last year. Dearness Johnson is really a number 2, but he was a number 3 for us, and he really did well. I think somebody's going to pay him. I don't see him back next year because we can't pay him what maybe he deserves to be paid.
They can straight cut that $16 million from Jarvis Landry. Say goodbye.
Yeah, I know. That's probably what they're going to do.
And make a push for. Been that big of a performer for him, you know, for that kind of money.
Possession receiver.
Yeah, you gotta. If you're paying somebody $17 million a year for wide receiver, then he doesn't really use wide receivers.
And in his defense, you know, their offense ain't geared to make him do that either.
I would give at least half of that money to Nick Chubb.
Right, because, I mean, that's just what they're...
Keep him as happy as possible.
Yeah.
Potential cut candidates were Jarvis Landry and Treader. The big question of the Browns move forward with Mayfield, a quarterback, like you were saying, or they swing a deal for another big-name passer like we suggested the last 2 weeks is really their only options here. The Browns have to decide how much they think the injury hampered him. Mayfield helped the Browns get by. We just mentioned that a minute ago. It wouldn't be surprising if they kick the tires on the viability of trades for Rodgers, Wilson, or even maybe Kirk Cousins. Ain't no way that would happen. Kirk Cousins.
Well, he worked with Stefanski in Minnesota. So
the Browns, well, you got Case Keenum and him. You going to trade sideways? Do you trade sideways? Was my point.
Yeah, correct. That's exactly correct. It's definitely a sideways.
It's not an upway trade. The Browns land Rodgers or Wilson without having to trade away any of the current young stars is the best case scenario, according to this article. Don't want to get rid of Garrett or Denzel Ward or Nick Chubb. You don't trade Nick Chubb for anything. They can all go out the door. He stays there. Worst case scenario, they don't re-sign Clowney, solidify the pass rush, and then fail to get Mayfield any help offensively. So there's your look. Top needs: wide receiver, defensive line, and edge. Pick number 13.
It's amazing. Wide receiver. At one time, Cleveland had all the wide receivers.
Yep. Yeah.
Now they need some.
Finding a starting caliber wide receiver is essential for the Browns as they try to set up Mayfield with as many weapons as possible. Building the defensive line is another area that Barry could look to attack. I mean, honestly, I don't care if he throws the ball 15 times a game as long as they give it Nick Chubb 25. Don't matter. Dallas Cowboys, Terry. Oops. I lost you there for a second. And then
they're redoing Dak's contract and everything too. So
the biggest thing for them, if they ever get Sean Payton in there and Jerry Jones lets him run it, they will be viable instead of wishful.
Well, it looks like they're $21 million over the salary cap, so that's not helping out at all. Randy Gregory, Van Der Esch, Gallup, Williams, Kurse, Schultz, and Wilson are all free agents. Potential cut candidates are Amari Cooper, DeMarcus
look
Lawrence,
at his money. You talk about money. $20 million.
$20 million for a wide receiver. Is he your number one wide receiver, Terry?
Well, he should be, but you don't throw to him as much as I do to Wilson and some of the under people, your tight ends.
Lamb.
So, yeah, well, I mean, Lamb's going to get a lot. Wilson's going to get a lot because Cooper, they either got safeties over helping with him because, I mean, once he gets it, he can break it. It's just that he's getting double covered a lot of times. So,
best case scenario for the Cowboys, they're already sending a message they can't keep everybody because of the cap. Well, that's true. They need to keep the right guys. They need to find a way to keep Gregory and Lawrence and improve the offensive line in middle-tier free agency or early in the draft. Combination of Gregory and Lawrence and linebacker Micah Parsons should make a formidable defense. The worst-case scenario for the Cowboys, the team, they keep fitting at the bottom of the free agent market. They did well there in 2021 with Kurse, Watkins, Casey, and Hooker, but were very true difference makers. They almost wrote a sentence there. They did a good job spending money on Hooker. Cowboys have done a better job drafting in recent years, but they need to make a bigger push in free agency, even if it's not at the top end. Needs defensive line, corner, and safety. Pick 24th. Known as a team that sticks to its draft board by taking the best prospect available, Dallas has landed cornerstones Parsons and Lamb in back-to-back drafts. In a similar situation, the Cowboys need help along the interior line and the secondary of the defense. So, Terry, a lot of defensive help, it looks like, for you guys is on your top needs.
And that's to help Dan Quinn. Look what a jump we made with him coming. So,
and we'll look over at the Carolina Panthers for
Jack Thompson's on the cut list
for Zachary.
Even though he's performed well, he's one of the ones that might get gone. Don't know what we're going to do at quarterback.
I think I accidentally clicked the next button, but
I definitely don't want Garoppolo.
Well, one question I don't see it on here yet, but what about your thoughts on is it time? When is it time? What do you need to do with Christian McCaffrey?
I said from the very beginning I wouldn't have given him the contract they give him, and I would have tried to move him for whatever we could get. Because when you have to pay that kind of money to a running back, it usually don't go well. I mean, you look at Gurley's situation in St. Louis, and we're going to be in a very similar situation. We've seen the 49ers pay a lot of money over the years to running backs, and it just don't never pan out. So I'm not that big of a fan. He's been hurt too, so I mean, we knew that was going to come. He had a lot of miles on him logged when we paid him that.
With the money, let's see what you think. My advice, thoughts. With the money invested in McCaffrey and Sam Darnold right now, you almost need right. You almost need to just draft nothing but linemen and fix that, and that needs to be your number one priority. And if it isn't, and then you give those guys a chance this year, and then maybe you can draft somebody or sign another free agent to compete with Darnold. But I don't see who's coming to Carolina. Who's Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson going to say I'm coming to Carolina, or Garoppolo? No, you get Jameis Winston. You get Jameis.
Cam.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. But I would, if I'm you guys, I would definitely spend money / draft picks, because if you got to fix the line, you got to give McCaffrey room to run. You got to give Darnold time to pass.
And then you got to keep McCaffrey on the field. That's a biggie too. He's
Sam
hurt.
Darnold's never had a good line to throw behind. He makes good throws. He's kind of like Baker, Tom. Like, I see him make good throws, but the consistency it just hasn't been there.
Consistency, that's the big word.
And I don't know if it is the line or what.
You guys played sports and you've watched people play sports and stuff. When you lose your confidence, it's hard to gain your confidence back too. So when he went out with the Jets, he could have just completely destroyed his confidence.
Well, having a bad line's awful too, because you're so every play you're supposed to do a certain number of steps to do this, do that. And if your line's getting blown up every play, it just messes up everything.
He started 3-0. I mean, then he went 1-7 after that. So it's kind of hard
without McCaffrey though too. Wasn't the 1-7 without?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it was, but I just look at them. I don't think they And Carolina would end up being, to me, like the old Cleveland, where you start getting quarterback and then go get another quarterback, then go get another quarterback, and it does not work when you have to do that.
No, you got to find the right guy. It says top free agents: Gilmore, Jackson, Reddick, Luvu, Ian Thomas, Abdullah, and Gonzalez. Cut candidates: Bouye and Shaq Thompson. We talked about Sam Darnold a little bit in his contract. The free agent class is weak. It's unlikely. I just said Wilson, Rodgers, or Garoppolo. It's unlikely any of those three would want to come. The same goes for Deshaun Watson, who would have to clear up his legal issues, see where that goes. Drafting Pittsburgh's Kenny Pickett or Liberty's Malik Willis with a 6th pick feels like a big reach, particularly the need for left tackle. Neither one appears to be year one starting material. So the best solution might be sticking with Darnold, picking a second-round quarterback. I'd get first-round lineman, second-round quarterback.
I'd be opposed to picking a lineman, and we'd get another, Jordan Gross type person, where you got a staple.
It says you could trade for Garoppolo and build the offensive line in free agency, and then use the 6-pack on a quarterback room for the future if you really feel like that way. Worst case scenario, Darnold remains starting quarterback. No left tackle was found, and top 3 offensive tackles are selected ahead of Carolina in the draft, and the team fails to re-sign the cornerbacks Jackson and Gilmore. Early look, offensive line quarterbacks are the only 2 major areas concerned for the Panthers in the offseason. So offensive line, quarterback, wide receiver. So there you go. So comments, concerns anymore in the NFL, fellas?
No, it's always a drama in the offseason. Yeah. They really build it up with all this of what's going to happen, and it's like the soap opera for guys. Where are these guys going to go? What's Rodgers going to do? And I'll see these little blurbs come up on my phone. Rodgers makes hints at where he might go, and then it really doesn't. But it just you get into this soap opera.
And the crazy thing is he winds up staying in Green Bay every time, and they go 13-3.
Mr. September,
12-4,
Mr. October. He is not Mr. January.
No, he is.
That's for sure.
No. All right, JP, you ready? When we come back, we will. We've got NASCAR, NCAA basketball, NBA basketball, and more on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Here's some good news. It's 2 for 1. 2 good companies have now become one great company. Hopper Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air have combined their businesses to become Shelby Heating and Air. David Hopper invites you to call on them for all of your heating and air conditioning needs, with name brands like Carrier and Goodman, plus complete service and repair. Shelby Heating and Air and Hopper Heating and Air, now one. Call 704-487-7877 today. Well, another big truck has arrived at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. This time it was filled jam-packed with scratch and dented refrigerators. All kinds, all styles. The showroom is full. The warehouse is full. There is one there just for you. And listen to this. These refrigerators come with a full 1-year warranty. Come get yours today at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center. Online at HendrickAppliance.com. Located at 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. On the right going down, on the left coming back. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes in Cherryville are now carrying greenhouses.
A greenhouse?
No, not a greenhouse. Greenhouses for your vegetables and flowers. Come check them out today. Also, come in now and take 6% off sheds. And ask them about their birthday houses with big discounts. Blessed Buildings and Tiny Homes and greenhouses too. 2268 Lincoln Highway 150 East in Cherryville. Online at blessedbuildings-tinyhomes.com and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia announces 1.9% APR financing for 60 months during the Volkswagen President's Day sale. Again, get 1.9% APR financing for up to 60 months. Hey, that's not all. You can also get 1.9% financing up to 60 months on selected pre-owned vehicles too. Come check it all out today and drive away from Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia. Located at 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Online at ClassicVWGastonia.com.
It's goof-proof. Even you can do it with Ready Seal Stain and Sealer for wood from Cleveland Lumber Company in Shelby. No laps, no runs, no streaks, and no back brushing. Ready Seal is the product of choice by the professionals. And remember Cleveland Lumber Company for your treated lumber kiln dried. Plus you'll find composite decking and see the new Makita cordless lawnmower from Cleveland Lumber Company. 217 Arrowwood Street off North Morgan Street in Shelby. They're the builder's choice.
Built upon a solid foundation of cast iron and steel, the Kubota L Series is part of our under 100 horsepower tractor lineup rated #1 for reliability. They feature powerful Kubota diesel engines and easy operation. The durable Kubota L Series. Talk to your local Kubota dealer today to schedule a demo. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, located at 126 Bessie Drive on Oak Grove Road at the Highway 74 bypass in Kings Mountain.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back, one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin.
I wish I should have had the camera on you on that one, JP.
What do you mean?
You're a little late coming.
Yeah, I was a little late. Yeah, I was busy.
What were you busy doing? Let's hear it. What game were you playing?
Actually, I was buying stuff on my game. I have a little Archer game on my phone.
You were buying
bows.
These kids today. All right, well,
I'm 30 years old. How am I a kid still?
Don't tell people you're 30 right after you said you're playing games, JP. Don't do that.
Right after you said you're buying
don't do
electronic arrows on your
just
I'm
lie
not
and say
buying the
you're
arrows.
just
I'm
lie
buying
and say
the
you're
bows.
19.
buying the bows. He's not buying the arrows. He corrected me, Tom. I was wrong.
Okay. We got it straight.
It's like talking
I
about
can buy the arrows, but I don't see the reason for it. But
What do you, if you don't see the reason for it? What do you mean?
Fathers, hide your
daughters. With the bow. What do you have a bow for if you don't have arrows? What do you mean you don't see a reason?
I buy
for it?
specialty arrows, but I don't have to.
Oh, so it's a specialty bow.
Yes.
Well, sorry. I tell you what, JP, I am sorry I asked. All right.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Thanks for listening to Shelby Heating and Air, 704-487-7877, ShelbyHeating.com. Family owned and operated since 1977. I was at 1877. I don't know if they had heating and air then, did they?
They had, I remember reading a book about James A. Garfield, and when he was shot and he was dying in the White House, they actually rigged up some kind of contraption that was like a primitive air conditioner. I can't remember how they did it, but it was so hot in the middle of the summer. Poor guy's dying. He had a bullet in his back. And they pried in there and got him all infected. He's like wasting away, but they had some kind of primitive air conditioner. So that was like 1881. So I've got to look that up, see if Shelby Heating and Air, can we trace that back to Shelby Heating and Air? I bet we can. Would not surprise me.
Well, Terry, my question for you is, in Daytona, is do you believe, and I'll say I do, that we have a major / kind of an issue here in NASCAR with drivers being able to be team owners as well. And the reason I say that is Brad Keselowski's team changed the wheels before the races. Mm-hmm. They've announced no penalties on this. Then he gets in the race, Terry, and proceeded, by my calculations, to wreck and try to wreck as many cars as he possibly could. Now, as a Ford owner, it's awful easy to wreck people and the other manufacturers in a race like this, in the pack racing. Just ride their butt till you turn them. Keselowski did that a few times. So my question, and we had this talk, you kind of talked about it last week before, about him being allowed to do whatever he was allowed to do, and now he's on the front row or second row, and you said he'll probably win, and he about did. But what do you think about that in particular, as far as, these manufacturers where, listen to the finishes. Ford, Toyota. Well, let me pull it up for the guys.
Yeah. 7 out of the first 10.
So Chevy was basically pushed off the racetrack, and mostly it was Brad Keselowski. Let me pull up here it is. So Ford, Toyota, Ford, Kyle Busch, Toyota, Ford, Elliott in 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And if you'll remember, was you watching it?
Yeah.
If you'll remember, they interviewed, was it Stenhouse that was out leading late? One of the guys that's not normal. Whoever Brad wrecked last, they interviewed him while he was in the car, and they was talking about you being the lone wolf out there because he was the only Chevy there in about the top 8. And how it was going to fit. And he's like, well, hopefully we'll be able to get some help for somebody. Hopefully it won't be too bad. It wasn't 3 laps later, Keselowski spins him. After he just got on the TV and said, I hope something like that don't happen. Because I think whoever was interviewing asked about that. I hope it wasn't Stewart.
Because they kept coming up at the end of it with drivers having somebody to run with.
Right.
You know, and Chevrolet at that point in time had hardly anybody out there for them to even for the Toyotas, they were so far separated that they was talking about they couldn't get together, you know, and all the Fords were all in a line.
Well, Busch, he's up there and he was all beat up. And so for Bubba to even have help from Kyle was kind of amazing that his car had enough to even push. But then, you know, your next Toyota is down here at Martin Truex. He ended up 13th. And then Kurt Busch in 19th. So they're just barely scattered.
Yeah, they're scattered all over the place.
I think, it was Stenhouse that was leading there in his Chevy, and Keselowski just straight turned him. Just rode, and turned him. There was another kid he got turned to, too. But anyway, I was just wondering what you thought about.
No, I don't put anything about
should drivers be allowed to actually own the cars and into a sense where he's wrecking other people, his competitors' money, and like he can just go wreck them. Like he's the owner. So like I don't know. I don't like how that's why I'm yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Should either one of those be allowed? Because I'm wondering, as far as competitiveness and fairness, how that's going to work on the track. There's a difference between being an owner and being an employee of a race team, of a Toyota race team, I believe.
So you're saying you'd be more careful if it wasn't your car because you're worried about getting fired.
No. Well, right. You're not going to go wreck people. Like, for Keselowski's not getting fired. You're 100% right. From what he did Sunday or whatever happens, if he gets fined, they're not cutting him. They're not, you know, I don't know. And maybe this is what Jimmy Johnson should have did to stay in NASCAR, and this is what they did to Brad, was like, hey, you can own it or you can leave because we got to get these young guys in. I don't know. It's just there's something weird about it that I don't like because just seeing him, the owner, out there on the track of the cars, of Fords, and wrecking Chevys. You see what I mean? There's just something.
How many Chevys did he wreck?
At least 2 that I know about.
Oh, the stronger Chevys.
Yeah, in the top 10, running in the top 10. Like he would just get behind them and ride them, Tom.
So they
would get loose, and instead of letting off at all, he just drove straight through.
So
they wrecked 10 people behind him.
So this was not just Ford dominance; it was more sabotage. That there's no Chevys in there.
We're not really saying that, but it looked like it.
Yes.
I put it like that, Tom.
Yeah, that wasn't the photo. When I watched the highlights of it, it seemed like Cindric kind of stole the show, but it's an interesting understory to this race.
But Cindric is a guy who, and even in Infinity, he won. So, I mean, nobody should be surprised that guy cannot race.
This is the youngest guy to win it. One guy won it when he was 20. I can't remember who that was. It's been a long time ago. But he's like maybe the second or third youngest driver to win it.
Yeah, there are things that I think NASCAR needs to look at. And I know there's nothing they can do about it. That's like if you got 2 cars, like before when I go back and Joey Logano and Brad Keselowski were on the same team, and they were first and second, and we're at Martinsville where there's no passing lanes, but both of them are side by side, and they're running side by side the same pace. Now, you can't tell me one of them's not better than the other one to let the other one in front of him to give the outside line, but it never happened. And I remember Kurt Busch was behind him, and I was so mad because Kyle Busch was a little bit further back, and I was like, wreck them, take one of them out of it. And Kurt got so mad, he kept telling his owner, the crew chief, look, I'm just going to have to take them out to get around them, you know. And I think if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. And that's like here, Brad Keselowski, to me, I'm like, Kevin, it looked like this is what he was doing, whether he was right or not. You know.
Was that Keselowski on that one?
That was a 2-car.
That was a 2-car.
He's not in the 2. He's in the 6 now.
Why would he? But why Chevys? What was his beef with the Chevys?
Because he's a Ford.
Yeah, he's a
just
Ford man.
Simply because he's Ford.
Yeah,
right. Because that's how NASCAR works, Tom.
But
they have running orders from manufacturers.
Sure do.
They do when they get in these races. They don't want it's not that they can't run with a Chevy and a Ford back to back. They will get mad at them if they push a Chevy or push a Ford each other. They will literally be mad that you won't see them in these restrictor plate races do it unless they have to at the very end, very last lap, going for the lead. They'll do it, but the 500 miles before it, you'll never see a Chevy.
And Tom, what do you? I know we probably have not seen it, but I guarantee if you look, you'd find it. But I guarantee there's some poster out there, your top 10, and it says, "Why would you have a Toyota or a Chevy when Ford leads the way at Daytona?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess I have both, so it doesn't really. I have 2 Fords and 1 Chevy, so I don't really understand this. But whatever.
That's some people are like that.
Back in the day, boy, it was really big.
Right.
You was a Ford man, you was a Chevy man, really.
Well, when I first went to work, my first real job, when I went to work for my dad's plant, and I told my buddy, I said, they're talking about NASCAR. I can't follow the conversation. I have no idea what they're talking about.
Right.
And he said, well, if they all like Bill Elliott, just say you like Dale Earnhardt. And if they all like Dale Earnhardt, just say you like Bill Elliott.
You know how true that statement is. I was fixing to bring up, if you was a race fan in '89, if you like Fords, you were an Elliott man, and if you like the Chevys,
that was in the beginning. I think that's when
$1 million bill.
I want to say that's when Bill Elliott was in the Budweiser car. I want to say
Coors. He drove the Coors.
Was it that? And then I think he was in a McDonald's car too for a while.
I think so,
a while back. But I remember that. But that was like the early '90s when Bill Elliott started to wane a little bit, But Earnhardt was still kind of the man, and once I never took that advice, but I got to chime in a little bit more.
Yes,
because I didn't want to get kicked out of the lunch table.
Very interesting.
But when you're 18 years old and there's a lunch table and they're all talking about NASCAR, and NASCAR just seemed like it was more popular back then anyway. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was just more popular. And I didn't want to risk being ostracized as an 18-year-old kid.
Well, but I always understand what you're talking about because I have been at some of these tables and younger guys will start talking and they'll be talking about some car and you'll be like, that's not the car.
Just you don't know what you're talking about.
Be quiet. And they'll continue to talk and you're like, be quiet.
Even as a young man, I knew, I was like, if I try to interject myself into this conversation, I'm probably going to get laughed out of the room. So I never delved.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you learn more by just sitting there listening to.
But I guess at that time we mainly had Chevys. Dad had a Caprice Classic. That's the one I always talk about, Kevin. When Carter Chevrolet, I know Kevin's probably tired of hearing that story about my parents buying the Caprice Classic because I do that every time I do a basketball game. But my dad also had a Chevy Impala, a '79. I had a Chevy Camaro when I was in college. So I was kind of a Chevy guy.
This is Keselowski riding Stenhouse. Keselowski's in the 6. So Stenhouse is in the 47. They're in the top groove there. So this is what we're talking about, Tom. This is Ford right behind the Chevy with a few laps to go. And you see there's a little space there between the first two. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And there's none right here.
Right.
And he just rides him into the corner. And basically what they're saying is that there's certain spots you do that, certain spots you don't. You hit somebody in the corner like that at 189 or whatever they're doing. That's what's going to happen.
Back in the day, that's when you had the old fist fights. You did that to somebody, you'd wait for them to come around. Mm-hmm. And I remember some images of them punching through the net. You guys still in the corner. I was like, why are you punching him? He's got a helmet on. It's like, you're going to.
And then you heard the comments from someone behind on that one saying, talking about, he said, yeah, the 6 just was riding. He got loose and he just kept riding. And there we are. We're all wrecking.
We saw the wreck.
That was their comment.
I will say that kudos to the safety teams, how much they've got these cars safe now. Because there's Daytona can be, Talladega, all these super speedways can be really. I remember we watched a couple years ago when the big wreck happened at the last of the of Daytona, and you didn't know if he was going to get out alive.
Kyle Busch just barely gets through both of those.
Keselowski took a couple people out on that Dodge.
He slipped
He's
through,
banging around.
Look.
Yeah. The other one, he was coming up on the back.
Is he being investigated?
No. They didn't even penalize him for changing the wheels.
Timmy wrecks it.
No, they didn't even. That's right, exactly right. And that's what bothers me.
So why's he got so much pull?
You're not.
Why's he got so much pull?
He's an owner.
I guess.
There's only going to be so many cars left at the end of the races.
So this was a big issue right here.
That wheel.
Well, there was two wheels that got loose. IndyCar a long time ago, Tom, if you remember, had a fan die with a loose tire getting in the stands. So you gotta leave, Terry. Sorry about that. Didn't know.
You know how it is. Come late, leave early. You know how it is.
That's just how it is. Terry, you got a pick for this weekend's race at Auto Club?
I had to pick.
Well,
yeah.
You want the odds?
Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch.
Kevin Harvick or Kyle Busch.
I even picked Kevin Harvick last week, and he run good for a while until the very end.
Yeah, then he got wrecked.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody just started getting wrecked. The Wise Power 400 rolls off Sunday at 3:30. Practice has a new format, and we'll talk a little bit about this 2-mile oval. For the first time since March 2020, practice is back as a regular staple in NASCAR. Remember, it's been a few years. Most ovals this year, including Auto Club, teams will be split into two groups. Practice begins at 2 p.m. on Saturday. Qualifying scheduled today at 2:35. Sunday's race at Fontana will be the first since March 2020, a span of 728 days. I hate how they word that. Will be the first in 728 days. Damn, Tom, that's 2 years.
I know. Just say 2 years.
They haven't had a race in 2 years. Is that easier to word it that way?
It will make it look better.
The first time since me and Hunter used to talk about that. Like when it's championship, like say they would be like, the first time since '95 the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. But if you went back to '92, you'd be the third time since '95 the Cowboys or '91 since the Cowboys won. It's just weird how they all the writers do that.
They just should have said they hadn't been relevant in like 30 years. Is what they ought to say.
That's a pet peeve of mine. Do what?
They should say they hadn't been relevant in the last 30 years, and that would solve everything, correct?
Penske and, Auto Club's asphalt is the oldest on the Cup Series, last repaved in 97. Part of this site is steel producing steel at Carolina Steel Industries. Paul Tracy is the first driver to run on the track in 97, driving for Team Penske in a kart FedEx Championship Series car, and NASCAR had a test station there in that May. Goodyear tires, I don't read about tires. Here's some storylines. Southern California storylines. Clint Boulder's first pole in 2020 was a Ford. Fontana's first pole in 2005. Last 6 races at Auto Club have been won by 6 different drivers. 7 drivers have won the last 8 pole awards at Auto Club. Stage 1 winners have gone on to win each of the first 4 races. So it's a different race driver each time, Tom, but whoever wins that first stage, there's a good chance he's going to win that race.
Yep.
Hendricks leads the points after winning the Daytona 500. Hendricks drivers have won 5 of the last 9 races on the West Coast. New car, same favorites, though, according to NASCAR.com. Kyle Larson enters the weekend as a betting favorite, 7-2. Larson scored his second career victory in 2017 at this track. Other favorites include Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch, 7-1 odds. Elliott has just 1 top 5 and 3 top 10 finishes in his last 5 starts. Defending race winner is Alex Bowman with 12-1 odds. So, Zach, give me a pick.
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch for Zach.
Oh, I'll go with Larson. Vegas knows.
I like his pick of Harvick. They've got some speed they may have this year. Remember, their 1.5 program has always been their best program, but I don't know. 1.5. Jeez, they don't have a lineup. They ain't done the qualifying yet, have they? Chase Elliott this week. No. No. Wrong. Joey Logano wins this
There's
week.
my boy Cole Custer coming in at a strong 20th place finish.
That's in the 500, yeah. Logano is going to be my pick for this week's race. We'll see how that goes.
Well, you know, the great Hunter Yancey used to call him Slogano. And I just never understood. I was like, he's in the top 5 every week. I just like saying Slogano. Okay.
Well, whatever. All right, JP, you ready? We come back. And I'm sorry, I didn't even think about Terry leaving. I didn't give him a chance to talk NC State and Carolina. I'm sure we know who he's going to pick, but, you know, we'll go from there. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk basketball, NBA, and NCAA on KDCBroadcasting.com.
With the consolidation of Hopper's Heating and Air and Shelby Heating and Air, the company is growing by leaps and bounds. And now Shelby Heating and Air is hiring technicians. That's right, they are now hiring service technicians. Get great pay, great benefits, and paid technical training. You can apply online at shelbyheating.com or call their office at 704-487-7877. Your future is waiting for you at Shelby Heating and Air, 1990 Eves Road in Shelby. Check out the great furniture deals for your home at Kurt's Premium Outlet in Eastridge Mall in Gastonia. Like a Crispin bar table and 4 chairs for $650. A Heston counter table and 2 chairs for $395. Bunk beds, $250. Kurt's has a Derby sofa and Chase lounge set for $10.99. Glider rockers for $5.99. And an assortment of pillows, $6.95. Kurt's Premium Outlet, Eastridge Mall on North New Hope Road in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook, too.
Sidewalk Boutique in downtown Lincoln has just kid-in clothes. All type of clothing from newborn to sizes 14 to 16. Hats, shoes, newborn blankets, and accessories for children. Stop in at 116 East Main Street in downtown Lincoln. Hours of business, Tuesday through Thursdays, 10 to 6 p.m. Fridays, 10 to 7 p.m. Saturdays, 10 to 6 p.m. Just kid-in clothes in Sidewalk Boutique. Like them on Facebook.
Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia announces 1.9% APR financing for 60 months during the Volkswagen President's Day sale. Again, get 1.9% APR financing for up to 60 months. Hey, that's not all. You can also get 1.9% financing up to 60 months on selected pre-owned vehicles, too. Come check it all out today and drive away from Classic Volkswagen of Gastonia. Located at 4417 Wilkinson Boulevard in Gastonia. Online at classicvwgastonia.com. Warmer weather means hotter cars, and the hottest selection of muscle cars are waiting for you at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby. Chevy Corvettes, Dodge Chargers, Chevrolet Camaros, Dodge Challengers, Ford Mustangs, and more. Shop online at iconicmotorcompanyofshelby.com. Click on and get approved in seconds. It's time to ride at Iconic Motor Company of Shelby, 325 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, and see their page at whatsupshopper.com. Get your metal roofing today at getabuilding.com in Shelby. They are the building people. Select from 18 different colors, cut to order, 26 and 29 gauge. Right now, 29 gauge Galvalume starting at $299 a linear foot with a 25-year warranty. Ask about the 40-year warranty color panels for $350 a linear foot. Plus, trim and accessories are available, and get a quick turnaround on most orders with delivery available. See getabuilding.com, 1705 South Lafayette Street in Shelby, online at getabuilding.com, or call 704-482-7880.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang.
Kevin and then, well, not all of us.
Yeah, Terry.
Yeah, like I said, I do want to apologize, Terry. I forgot about him leaving us in there staring at him in his referee outfit. I want to get his thoughts on Carolina and NC State. And Terry, if you want to call in, feel free to, and we'll put you right on there. And as you drive down the road, because I do want to hear that. But they do play today. KTC Broadcasting. We've got Carolina State, then we got Duke coming up later in the afternoon. After that, here college basketball Saturday. KTCBroadcasting.com. We've also got some NASCAR racing and more this weekend. Big schedule. I could go through that just a little bit on mine. Today we'll have Casey Kasem's American Top 40 at 11 a.m. WHS. Tar Heels NC State 2 o'clock WHS WCSL. The Production Alliance 300 on that for NASCAR at 3 o'clock. 4:30. 4:30 for the Production Alliance, and then Duke Syracuse 6 p.m. Sunday. Casey Kasem at noon o'clock. 2:30 p.m. we'll have the Wise Power 400 and the Detroit, not the Tigers, not the Lions, but Matthew Stafford's Pistons will be at the Charlotte Hornets Sunday night.
Fresh off their victory over Cleveland. Yep. Lost 3 straight.
So today, 2 o'clock, looking at the schedule, we want to do some bracketology. That's what Tom's favorite thing to do is. Tom, is it okay? We can
at least we're about. Yeah. At least we're in February at the end now instead of the beginning of March. When
top overall seed right now, Gonzaga. First team out, SMU, and last team in Memphis will go down the bubble. What the bubble is shaping up to be, just look at the big name programs: Michigan, North Carolina, Indiana, Virginia, and Florida. Not all are going to make it, of course, to the rule of thumb for February is more teams tend to play their way out than in down the stretch. Last 4 byes, whatever that means, Rutgers, Michigan, TCU, and Carolina. Last 4 in, Loyola, San Francisco, Indiana, Memphis. First 4 out, SMU, San Diego State, BYU, Dayton. And next 4 out, Oregon, St. Bonaventure, Virginia, and Florida.
What does that mean, last 4 byes?
Do they have to wait on a play-in from the play-ins to play them? Is that what it is? They're sitting there. Is that what it is? Where they don't? It's got a to be determined beside of them.
It's the dumbest bracket of all time.
I don't understand that. I understand the last 4 in, last 4 out. I understand that. I don't understand last 4 byes.
I think the last 4 in.
But when I get down through here, we'll find out where they
last
got
4
Carolina.
in without playing in. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. Why would you call it a bye then? Don't make any sense.
They've got North Carolina as an 11 seed, and they're not getting a bye. So I don't. Again, we don't know, and we're not. I don't want to criticize it or say anything I don't know anything about other than.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. I do understand that Michigan's coach tried to go punch the Wisconsin coach. Got himself suspended for the rest of the season.
Oh no, I don't understand though, Tom. Why we have 64 teams, and not once is a team ranked out of what was the lowest seed? Won a 6 seed to the top 25 basically. Has never won. We're like, you know what we need? The 66th and 67th best teams in the nation in this tournament. We can't pick a champion without those two.
Kevin, you're always talking about Vegas. That's not about the champion.
Oh yeah,
that's about Vegas.
100%.
That's another game for everybody to go on their online gambling and say, should I take the points?
Isn't it funny the college presidents have no problem agreeing on that? But if you say, let's play more college football games, whoa, no, whoa, you guys are just silly.
Yeah,
that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Well, Alabama's got to play Western Carolina and make sure Make sure we get that game in. We don't want to play a middle of the road Big Ten team, which they'll probably win anyway. Well, let's play Southern Alabama State. Make sure we can get to walk on some playing time.
Well, they've got Carolina against Iowa as 11 and a 6. I think they should play these at home too in the first round. Yale at Duke. Duke 2C. I say at Ohio State at a 4. Tom is where they've got you guys.
Ohio State is one of those teams where you'll watch them one time and say this team cannot score, and then you watch them the next time and they look like they could be a Final Four team. They're really, really, I guess, inconsistent. Indiana. I remember the first game I listened to. They didn't score for a long time. Rutgers scores the last 10 points of the game. They have an 8-point lead with about 2 minutes to go, and Rutgers scores the last 10 points. They have these. Now, E.J. Liddell's always going to be their go-to to get them some points, but it's just they're just inconsistent.
They've caused this problem with one and dones and first-year people and the inconsistency.
That's not really Ohio. That's not really Ohio State.
No. I'm just talking about I was talking about the landscape. Because look at the parity at the top, and how many of the top teams this year just won, they get knocked off. The next one won, they get knocked off. So it's not like there's any super team anymore.
And even the super prestigious Duke University does the one and dones, which is a joke to me. That's just an absolute joke. That's an absolute farce. That's an absolute the epitome of
let me ask
hypocrisy.
How do you think the Notre Dame football program feels as far as like they've tried to held their team to higher standards academically, and then the basketball team can go over and get a one and done?
I mean, it's the ultimate. That's why it's, I know I've dogged out Kay on this show many times. He's a hypocrite. He's a fraud. He's a fake. You've got this prestigious university, and you're doing Kyrie Irving, who thinks the world's flat. Come on. It's just there's got to be a standard somewhere that if you want to be the Harvard of the South, that's fine, but you can't allow Kyrie Irving to come there, play 7 games, go around telling people all this nonsense about science, just embarrassing, that you did admit him to your university. And there's lots of kids that Duke says no to. So I just think it's hypocritical.
At least,
but that's what Krzyzewski used to hang his hat on his graduating players.
At least when we get them coming to Carolina, we get them set up for classes ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Well, our country obviously, it's talking about that. Obviously has a college admissions issue, many issues,
big time,
with who gets in there where and what, and you've got kids that get into schools because their parents went there, You've got kids that or like Rashad McCants, fantastic basketball player. He didn't go to class. And you've got kids that want to go to the school or want to be, or what, the ones that just, about this time, let's just think about this. What about a kid who grew up in North Carolina? He's nothing but a Tar Heel fan. His family are all Tar Heel fans. They've spent all their money on Tar Heel gear, Tar Heel this, Tar Heel that. And then basically a 50-point something on an SAT or didn't have enough volunteer hours and my parent or your parents weren't a legacy, whether they did well or not at the school, you don't get in because of something like that. And those kids that would have done their best and done great at the school and cared about the school are the ones that a lot of them don't actually get in, as opposed to the ones that think they deserve to go to Carolina because my dad went there or someone else went there. And I think that like, for example, in the baseball thing, the same thing with the steroid era is talking to guys in my age and stuff. Should they have used? Should they have tried? You get to AA and everybody else, the guys are hitting balls anywhere over the plate. They hitting it off the wall. And you're like, should I be using? So that's the thing, the pitchers, Clemens and all them, guess went through as well. But we always talk about those, but we never talk about the fringe people who didn't make it because of those people that did. And that's the issue, and the big issue that I think a lot of people have, especially with the steroid era stuff, is like nobody has an issue with Bonds for the most part making himself better. He didn't take nobody's spot. That spot was already taken. But the guys that did take spots, those are the ones that are, I don't know how do you spot jerks or whatever, cheaters, whatever. Conference breakdown. That we're a little tangent on that. Big Ten's got 9, ACC 5, Missouri Valley 2, American 2, Pac-12 2. So there's your breakdown on college basketball. Tom, y'all think y'all got a chance to win it?
No, I think we got a chance to Sweet 16 team.
Okay,
I think they can win a couple, but like I said, they run into times where they can't score.
Yeah,
and it's really, really bad. Like I know the Rutgers game. I remember listening to that game. They're up 8, 2 minutes to go, and you don't score the rest of the way home. I mean, that's going. If you got to win 6 games in a row to win this thing, that's going to happen to you.
It's going to catch up.
It's eventually going to happen to you, especially against a good team. So, I would be very, very happy with a Sweet 16 appearance this year.
I think Carolina might win the first round game, and that's going to be tough. If they go against Iowa, if that would set up, that'd be tough. We don't play well against good teams.
So we're going to kind of segue. We'll stay in this basketball. I kind of want to talk about this. We'll all do it all in one big chunk here. Article on NBA is there a Duke curse when it comes to NBA prospects? And one thing that I've kind of joked about with them over the years is that you'll see Duke players with NBA championships, and the success. There used to be a big right. So when Dean was still alive and coaching, there was the big talk. I brought this up before. One of the things that Dean Smith was big about, like he would be more happy about all of his players going to the NBA and being successful than he would be about the 2 championships. Okay, so I don't know if I'd feel that way about Coach K. Maybe
it's all about him.
Maybe he is, maybe he's not.
No, it's all about him.
But the thing about that is that so Duke players, when they go to the NBA, and you've got Jeff Mullins, 1975, Danny Ferry in 2003, Shane Battier won 2 championships, Kyrie Irving and Dante Jones. I think one of them just somebody else.
And calling Kyrie Irving a Duke guy for 7 games in college is a stretch.
Kind of like an honorary degree, right?
Yeah, that's a stretch.
It says Duke players have 8 NBA championships. Quinn Cook was the last Duke player to get an NBA championship. Now, how many of those, Tom, are Hall of Famers? None.
Mullins is probably in the UNCC Hall of Fame. He coached it when I was there. Maybe he's in the UNCC Hall of Fame. I don't know.
Point being is, and that's what I guess this thing's talking about. And what's strange about the 2 teams is Duke in the last 10, 15 years has produced way more NBA players, like decent quality. But again, they're sitting there saying, what happens when they get there, though? Like, where's Zion right now?
About to be out of the league.
Where's Cameron? He's going to eat himself out of the league.
Yeah.
Where are all these guys at right now? And are they producing any success? Like, if you're going to Duke, is there any projection if I'm going to have any success in the NBA? And there's almost none. I mean, Shane Battier, is that the best you got? I mean, that's really, really what we're looking at.
I mean, other than Grant Hill, that that was probably their best
but
player, but
didn't
no
Grant
championship.
Hill's fantastic.
Yeah.
Him and T-Mac are on the all injury teams.
What could have been.
Grant Hill was LeBron minus 25 pounds?
Yeah.
I mean, he really was, and people don't get that, is how good he was. And T-Mac was that big. T-Mac was really big.
And I, like I said, I'm not a Duke fan at all, but when Grant Hill came to the NBA, when he was healthy, he could get to the basket very easily.
Yeah.
You remember him just slashing through. He played at a little bit different. It looked like he wasn't playing fast, but he was playing fast, if that makes sense.
Well, there was talk about that he could be the next face of the league, and he was being pushed like that. Remember, he was the face of Sprite at that point, and it was him and Kobe, and then he started having ankle issues, and Vince and T-Mac came through, and that was a little bit of that. But they kept searching for the next Jordan, the next Jordan, the next Jordan. That's what they kept wanting and kept talking about. But again, as far as the Tar Heels go, Roy Williams, we'll say this all the time, Matt Doherty, Bill Guthers have not recruited a single basketball player that's been an NBA All-Star or averaged 20 points in the NBA. Not one of them. And they won a couple championships during that time. Duke's won a few championships during that time. But again, what are the goals? Like I said, Dean would probably be more happy just based on reading his books and everything about the guys, whatever success they have afterwards.
Success, yeah.
So I've always thought I've seen that as a barometer of success. Like you're only in college for what? It's like, how do you take credit for Kyrie Irving's basketball? Like you just said, when he was there for 20 games, or
he was only there
games.
because he had to do the year.
He
That's
had
the
to
only
be
reason
there.
why he was there.
And did that make him a champion? Did those 5 months?
Well, if you ask a Duke fan, yes.
Right.
If you ask these Duke fans that are, it's like anything. I mean, they're absolved of anything. You know, if you bring up, remember when the Carolina fans were cussing Coach Krzyzewski and Dickie V made a big deal about it. I'm saying the kids were wrong, and they shouldn't have done it. But you're gonna flame them out on ESPN. You're gonna try to embarrass the university because of these kids when Mike Krzyzewski cusses other coaches, cusses other players,
and they hide it.
And they hide it, and he's just his conduct's deplorable. But at the same time, we're going to nationally embarrass Carolina. We're going to let these few drunken goons represent the entire Carolina basketball community. That's just not right. And I know Dickie V has a man crush on Coach K.
That's what I
get it. I get it. I get it. They insulted your man, and you stuck up for your man, Dickie V. And I get it. And I like Dickie V. But it's just, I get tired. That's why I can't wait till he's gone. I'm sick of him. Yeah. He's overrated. He doesn't live up to the principles of Duke University, which it is a prestigious university. I'm not taking that away from him. It's a prestigious university. It's hard to get into. And it used to be, we graduate our players. We graduate our players. We live up to the Duke standard. Look what he's done over the last 10 years.
So would a Duke fan take credit, Tom, do you believe, for Kyrie Irving's basketball, but they'll say, well, he didn't take biology at Duke. I mean, not biology, what's the word I'm looking for? Astronomy.
If he darkened the door of a classroom, I would be shocked.
Well,
if he even appeared in a classroom.
Well, I'm showing a picture online right now of Jordan listening to Dean Smith right there in front of you. Just look at his eyes and looking at him.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say is I know that man affected him in his career and the things that he went on to do. And you can just look in a player looking at his coach like that.
Yeah.
He's listening.
Yeah.
I think that's freshman, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is what that is. But anyway, here was the thing online. There's always the argument, and I've brought this up a couple of times too. The old, they're getting into the LeBron talks that they're not going to make the playoffs, so they got nothing to do besides, hey, let's bring up Jordan some more. Here's the number. I've always said that this is one of the things. The number of All-Star people that made the All-Star team while playing with him. So teammates that made the All-Star team. You got me, Tom?
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah.
Jordan had one, Scottie Pippen. The only player that ever made the All-Star team last team. Now, the idiot that made this post last night, and they were getting on him about it, he responded with, B.J. Armstrong and Horace Grant made the All-Star team. But that was the year Jordan was gone.
Oh.
They made it 94 the year he was gone. So yeah, sorry. Only one person. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played with 4. Kobe Bryant played with 6 All-Stars teammates. LeBron has played with 7, and Larry Bird has played with 7 All-Star teammates. LeBron's are Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, and Mo Williams.
What's old Larry Bird doing these days?
I don't know.
I don't even know what he's doing.
So yeah, there was some Larry Bird. There people were talking about Larry Bird and Kobe. I think Kobe was ranked 10th all time on something. They were arguing about that. Number of NBA players by school in history: Kentucky 107, UCLA 97, North Carolina 90, Duke 83, Kansas 72, Indiana, Louisville, Notre Dame, Arizona, and St. John's round out the top 10 of that stat. Schools producing NBA players. All right, there's some little fun Carolina, Duke, NC State news and notes. I don't know if I thought Terry might call back and say something about the State Carolina game today, but maybe not. So let's move over to the NBA, Tom. They started back this week. And Zach, standings for the NBA. We talked a little bit about last week. Hornets in a heap of trouble.
In Cleveland, you lose 3 straight, you're down to 6. I don't know. I had a lot of counting down to 5th anyway. About to be passed by the Celtics.
Celtics playing good right now.
Yeah.
Terry ain't here to wish his coach gets a extension on his contract.
But and here's the thing, I was making a point last week. So the Celtics, like I said, if the Hornets win 10 straight games, they'd be 40-31. Like let's do the math. Let's do the winning percentage on that. So 40 divided by 71, 56%. They would be the 7th seed. A 10-game winning streak would put the Hornets at a 7th seed, still in the play-in round. So they're exactly where I said they'd be to start the year. Yeah, well, we'll go back to it if we want to and say Kevin was right the whole time. They're going to be a play-in team. In fact, if they didn't win last night, Zach, they'd be in a real heap of trouble of missing the playoffs because they're only 2 games ahead of Wizards for a last playoff spot.
What, 21 games left? No,
21 games for the Hornets.
21. Yeah.
They've played 61, 1 game under 500. Now, the good news is they got a stretch coming up of what I would call slightly winnable games. They're playing some of the West Coast teams that aren't that hard, put it that way.
Are they playing them out there?
No, I'm talking about home. So here we go. So the Hornets' next few games, got Detroit, that's winnable. Should lose at Milwaukee. Should lose at Cleveland. Got a chance to win against San Antonio. I don't know who's playing for Brooklyn.
Depending on who plays, yeah.
Celtics at home, that'd be a good game. They'll both score 125. At New Orleans, that's winnable. At Oklahoma is winnable. Atlanta's winnable. Dallas in a shootout at home is very winnable. Pelicans is winnable. Knicks is winnable. Probably should have no business beating the Jazz. Probably shouldn't beat Brooklyn in Brooklyn by then. I guess Durant will be back in a month. In Denver, like I said, so the schedule is they just went on a hellish streak. So looking at that, Zach, and that's the end of the season.
They'll hold 500.
If they hold, so they go sit there at 40, 41 wins again.
Yeah, they're going to hold 500.
And then you've got, like we talked about matchups in the playoffs time. What did you say you guys were at 5? So you'd have Milwaukee in round 1.
Well, that's great.
So the Hornets to get in the playoffs would have to beat Atlanta in a shootout, then would have to beat either Brooklyn or Toronto in a 1-game play-in, which they just beat Toronto last night by 30, so they can do that. But I don't think they beat Brooklyn. So, Tom, you'd have Milwaukee in round 1. Round 2, the Miami Heat would be your pathway.
If we got by Milwaukee.
Yeah. So,
of course, Milwaukee's they've had some injury things to deal with. I think once they get their big 3 going towards the end, they're going to be a tough out.
Out west, Lakers lose again last night to the Clippers. Both of them are in the play-in round.
And they say that the Lakers have the hardest schedule in the last 20 games of anybody. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm hearing.
I just don't see them.
They might not make the play-in game.
There's a chance that they might not. They are. I would highly doubt that they'd miss it. They're 3.5 games out.
And
There's a better chance of the Hornets missing than the
Lakers.
Lakers.
Even if they do, they're not guaranteed to beat the Trailblazers.
They have to beat the Trailblazers in a one-game shootout. Then after that, they'd have to beat either the Clippers or the Timberwolves in a one-game
Clippers just beat them
shootout.
last night, so
right.
And I wouldn't want to play Edwards.
Let's say the Lakers get in. Let's say they get in the 8 seed or 7 seed. Well, who they got in the first round?
They're getting smoked. It don't matter which two of those teams. They're getting smoked.
Phoenix or Golden State. Phoenix was the number 1 seed in the NBA best record. Listen, Devin Booker, I started saying it last year or maybe the year before when I saw him at the All-Star game. He's going to be your next star shooting guard, just fantastic, solid as a rock. I like him. His only problem is he dates Kardashians. So
is he the one that just got hurt for Phoenix?
I don't think so.
I think he's out for multiple
weeks.
Booker? I believe so.
I don't know. That would be significant news, Zach. You just can't say I don't know. No, wait a minute. No.
Hey, y'all think the best player in the NBA is out right now?
He returns. Okay, so
that's
I knew
December 20. That's 2021.
Okay.
One of the Phoenix lost.
No, that's not it. No,
Chris
Devin
Paul's been
Booker
out
thrives
for 2
as
months.
point. Okay, yeah.
Chris Paul will be out for 2 months.
Chris Paul.
He's gonna get hurt, and he's gonna get hurt in the
playoffs whenever they start. Yeah, anyway. Yeah.
So Paul's out.
Paul,
right? Okay. But the Warriors are the favorite to win this. I mean, by gosh,
they're getting back.
Wiseman ain't even come back yet.
He's coming back.
And Draymond's been out. Terry's favorite player. The
wow,
the leader's been out for
that's devastating
for a few days, for a few weeks. So they've had that issue. We was looking at the point guards, and I said I went back and looked at the Russell Westbrook thing as well. Let's do this real quick. NBA champions, and I want to go through these for just a second, Tom and Zach, and go over a couple of who's who of point guards. So let's see if y'all can name them when we go. Last year, who's the point guard of the Milwaukee Bucks?
It wasn't Middleton, was it?
Mm-mm.
Middleton didn't run that. Holiday didn't run that.
That's who it was.
Was it Holiday?
That's right. They did pick him up in a
All right.
trade.
Who is the point guard of the bubble champion Lakers?
Rondo.
Well, Rondo was one of them, but I think he was the backup.
And then they brought in Avery Bradley, possibly.
Any Hall of Famers in those two yet?
Probably not.
Toronto Raptors, Kyle Lowry. Was he the leading scorer or best player on that team, or was it Kawhi Leonard?
Yeah.
Golden State, Durant. Cleveland, LeBron. Golden State, Steph Curry. San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker's pretty good. I'll give him credit for that. Also had 2 other Hall of Famers on the team. 3 if you count on that one, because that one had Kawhi. Miami, who is their point guard? Mario Chalmers. All-time great he is. Dallas Mavericks had Jason Terry and J.J. Baroa run the point guard for that title. Lakers, Derek Fisher was running the show for that.
He's pretty good.
Very good, serviceable player.
Has any
play
of
good
those...
play good defense.
Right.
Play good defense.
Spurs back to Tony Parker.
Back to Rondo.
Miami Heat over the Dallas Mavericks. Who's the point guard for them? That first one.
It wasn't one of the big 3.
With Shaq and them. Who was the point guard on that one? With D-Wade. Do you even know? None of us can remember.
I don't have a clue.
San Antonio Spurs, of course. Detroit Pistons. Chauncey Billups was
very good player.
Very good NBA player. Rip Hamilton on that team. Rasheed Wallace. Tayshaun Prince.
Was Tony Parker on the 03 Spurs?
No.
Not yet?
No. That was Avery Johnson.
Okay.
Probably. I think, yeah. 99 was Avery. Yeah, I don't know if 03 might not have been either one. I can easily look on that. All right, so Lakers with Kobe and them, that was what, Derek Fisher still. John Stockton got beat. Bulls point guard, they didn't even have a point guard for the most part. Ron Harper brought it up, or whoever brought it up and gave it to Jordan Pippen to run the triangle. And then Pippen ran it for the most part. Then you got Isaiah of the Pistons. Who's Lakers? Magic. Got those. Obviously, Magic, Isaiah, and Steph are the main point guards. Philadelphia 76ers, 83. The exercise I'm getting at is really, for the most part, none of those people other than Steph Curry, Isaiah, Magic are all-time Hall of Famers. And then you come over here in the NBA and you click on your stats and you click on your points. And let's go down the list of point guards. Trae Young is 5th Is Luka the point guard or shooting guard? Point guard, he's 6th. John Morant, 7th. Steph Curry, 11th. These guys are scoring way too much. Fred VanVleet, 23rd. LaMelo, 27th. Leading scorer. All these leading scorers, you pretty much write it down. Those guys ain't winning no championship. I mean, all the ones I just read as far as champions, though, they ran the offense and ran the team and kept people happy. That's the most important thing. Kyle Lowry, he would have a game where he'd score 5, wouldn't he? In the next game, he'd score 30. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you average 17 as a point guard. Yeah. Last night, Zach, what'd you say about LaMelo?
No, he didn't have a good game.
He had 13 points, Tom, and they won by 30.
Yeah.
Or he could shoot 25 times, and we lose 9 out of 10.
Yeah, 2 of our bench guys played really well last night.
Oubre tied the lead. Oubre and Rozier tied the lead.
Oubre does play well a lot.
He's streaky shooter.
Yeah.
They are 6-1 when he's the leading scorer. 6-1, and he's off the bench. So
that's that second team. Right. He's kind of leading up. If that's the case,
he gets hot.
If he gets hot,
if he gets hot, they can beat anybody.
Yeah,
it really helps, and that's that wing scoring that I keep talking about. Is that to have it?
And then Montrezl Harrell, which we just picked him up recently, which is good. I mean, that's a good pickup for him.
Tom, they had 57 points off the bench last night.
Yeah, that's huge.
The Hornets did.
Crazy thing is they're +1. They're only +1, and you see they were plus minus. Both of them are only +1.
The bench had 57 points, and they were a grand total of +8.
Look at Terry Rozier's plus minus yesterday. 46.
Plus 46.
That's ridiculous.
Terry's not off the bench, though.
No.
I
was just saying the plus minus while he was in versus the other team. That's ridiculous.
But, I mean.
VanVleet, did not have a good game last night for the Raptors either.
-40 when he was on the court.
Yeah. It didn't. And you saw where he was on your rankings a minute ago. He's like top 7 or 8.
Yeah, just silly. All right. Comments, suggestions, Tom?
It's just going to be fun going down there. I think the East is going to be fun because it's so competitive. I think the West is obviously who the big 2 are.
I think
we already know who the Western Conference Finals. We can talk about LeBron, and then now they're talking about trading LeBron, all this. So you can talk, who cares about that? It's going to come down to Phoenix. It's going to come down to Golden State. And then in the East, I kind of agree with Kevin that Miami is probably going to come out of that. But now Philadelphia, how's the Harden thing going to work out? Can the young Cavaliers get hot again? You got Milwaukee and their experience. I think the East is going to be fun until the finals.
And
I think whoever wins the West is going to win the finals.
You definitely
got
don't want to sleep on Chicago.
Brooklyn
in a 7 or 8 seed, Tom.
Right?
Maybe 6 seed.
Right. That's what makes it.
It's going to blow up the East.
The East is going to be fun. The West has already come down to 2. The West finals will be fun to watch Phoenix and Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
But after whoever wins that, I mean, you got to think they're going to be favored to win in 6 over everybody in the East. You would think.
Right. And you get them in the first round. If you're Chicago and you get Nets in the first round, you're like, what did we do to deserve this?
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
I just don't think I'm not putting my hat on the Nets by no means.
Well, first
they don't have time to jail.
Here's 2 things: Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Durant played a grand total of 16 games together in 3 years. So whatever they're doing anyway, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
him leaving anyway, it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they redid their starting lineup, and they're in the 8th seed right now. Like you said, Zach. None of them's going to want to play. Who in the top 4 wants to have Durant in the first round? Or do you want to have the Charlotte Hornets? Or no offense to Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
Or do you want Kevin Durant coming into town? Let's look at their depth real quick. This is what's crazy.
And they're deep.
So here's your starters supposedly: Kyrie, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Durant, and Andre Drummond. Then the backups: Goran Dragic. They just picked up. I think that is a huge key. Patty Mills can shoot it. LaMarcus Aldridge, Cam Thomas. I think that's about Blake Griffin's down there on the team. I forgot he was on the team. But Seth Dragic, have you seen, guys, the video of Dragic slapping Ben Simmons? Y'all are gonna laugh. They were playing against each other. And
in practice or something?
No. This is an NBA game.
Oh, okay.
And Dragic slaps Simmons in the back of the head during the middle of the play. This might be. I can't believe I've never seen this. This is awesome. All right, so watch. So Simmons gets the steal. Now watch this. Boom! Slapped you in the back of the head.
Didn't he?
They tee him up?
I don't know. So Embiid come over like trying to figure out what happened. And there's James Johnson. He's a mixed martial artist, by the way. That's the one nobody wants to fight with. But so watch him show this replay. Simmons crossed him over and he slapped him in the back of the head. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. So Simmons like kind of fouls him with the body. Bam!
That's terrible.
Dragic is bigger than I thought he was too.
Dragic's like 6'5".
Yeah, he's bigger than I thought he was.
Boom.
That's terrible. That's absolutely.
That's a dirty
terrible.
play.
That's terrible.
Look, that's a dirty play.
Should have been ejected. Should have been ejected.
No. Why is the 6'11" man not standing up for himself?
You're ejected.
Oh.
See you later. See you later.
For what?
Because you're a dirty player, man. That's bullcrap.
Is that dirtier than slapping somebody in the manhood?
I don't like that at all.
I think this is hilarious.
Well.
And y'all know why. Because that is Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But Tom, here's the thing. How dirty did Ben Simmons think it was that he don't even do anything? He walks away. He doesn't fight him. He doesn't push him.
Who was the bigger man?
He was the bigger baby or little.
I'll tell you what, though. Done that to me.
Right.
It would have been.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Most
back.
people's going to want to fight or do something. He doesn't. And we all know it. In the NBA, we're going to walk away. I got slapped in the back of the head. This little foreigner slapped me in the back of the head. Whack! And now they're teammates. What are they going to do about that?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
I can't believe the Miami players stuck up for their player.
Nobody.
I'm surprised.
They did. Well, maybe there's a reason, Tom. You both are thinking that's dirty, and then nobody on the court reacted harsh, like maybe he deserved it.
I don't know what happened.
Maybe he deserved it. Whack!
He can't take his eyes off it, can he, Zach?
Dude, that's a car crash.
I don't think that's a good.
That is a car crash. That is awesome. No. Yeah, you should have got a tech.
Yeah, should have got booted.
Oh my God.
No, that's booted. You're done.
Tom, Charles Barkley bounced a basketball off Shaq's forehead and didn't get booted.
Should have.
And you're wanting Jordan Dragic.
I think
7 foot tall man in the back of the head.
To me, I don't see what the difference that is. And going up punching them, you get ejected for punching somebody. So I mean, I'd have to give it. Well,
that's a foul. It's a reach-in foul. So. What do you mean? That's a reach-in foul. You swung and missed. Slapped him in the face. Nowadays, flagrant 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you some Bill Lambert.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as the Malice at the Palace. I'll say that.
The Malice at the
Palace. Look, Barkley, like I said, Barkley bouncing the ball off Shaq's head and not getting anything for that. I think they both got a tech for one of the punches they.
And now they're on a show together.
They swung and missed at each other. Yeah, they like each other. Yeah. Barkley's I mean, if you want to know.
If you want to see a funny video, watch the video where Shaq has to eat the chip that he said he wouldn't cringe when it was the hottest chip in the world.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
He started crying.
He started crying on it.
Oh, there's Lambert. Hit him in the face. Throw him out, Tom. Poor Terry Porter.
I didn't ever like Lambert anyway, so I'm good with throwing him out.
I don't know who 44 is. He was ready to hit him, though. There's Craig Elo. Scott Skiles didn't like him.
Scott Skiles was a scrapper, though.
He was. He's one of those.
He was going to be in everything, so he was a little scrapper.
There's Lambert and Jordan. Jordan put one in his eye. See, they all got to play, Tom. They kept punching. And you want to throw out poor Goran for slapping.
That's
get off the floor.
The Celtics should have went and just lambasted Lambert for that. But.
Oh, watching Bill Lambert highlights, it doesn't get better.
He's a B athlete. That's why he has to do that.
Right.
You're
100%
right. In the game with the Hornets, he got Mourning thrown out of the game. That was real smart on Mourning's part.
Now, Tom, you say Bill Lambert is a B athlete, right?
Draymond Green.
Did you know that he averages almost double the amount of points and also 3 more rebounds a game than Draymond Green.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In fact, Draymond never averaged 10 rebounds in his career. Bill Laimbeer did it 8 times.
Tom had made the comment that Draymond is the triple single.
Well, Barkley did that. Tom, in 1985, Bill Laimbeer averaged 17 and 12. The next year, he averaged 16 and 13.
In what year?
In 85, 86.
When was his first year?
80. 80, he was in Italy. 81 was in Cleveland. Okay. Did you know he was with you guys first?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Do you got his rookie card?
I do not possess that.
I might have. No, I don't have him back to 82. I've got
He was in
85,
Cleveland twice,
86.
right?
No, he was for 2 years.
Yeah,
but not like twice. All right, JP, let's get out of here today. Thanks for Tom and Terry. Had fun today. Have a happy Saturday and Sunday. Next week's supposed to start warming up a little bit. 2:00 today, Tar Heels and Wolfpack. Don't forget NASCAR racing all weekend on KTC Broadcasting, as well as Duke basketball, Charlotte Hornets basketball, KTCBroadcasting.com.
Hey.